Chris!
Heath!
You're looking at the most successful version of myself.
I'm really proud that you've come this far.
I got engaged.
You did it, which is kind of ironic considering we opened the last episode saying you're not going to propose.
And little did I know that I was gonna, and it was gonna go off smooth sailing.
Without a hitch.
Because I did it on a sailboat.
Good call.
Now Bailey is my fiance, and I'm going to get married to a classy lady.
I'm expecting my invite in the mail any day now.
Yeah, you're my best man. So that's on that agenda.
I'm not going to let you be too humble here, Heath. Let's not bury the lead. You hired not one but two a cappella groups for this proposal.
Well, it was gonna involve boy bands at some
boy
capacity.
Bands and boats.
Yeah.
And Bailey, the three Bs.
Okay, so for those who aren't aware, I took her on a trip to Jacksonville, Florida, which is not the most romantic proposal destination, which is why we drove 50 minutes to St. Augustine. The name alone just screams
St. Augustine.
Yeah, doesn't it sound like you're going to get on one knee? Anyway, so we walk through the town past the Castillo de San Marcos, and then she's like, I don't know where we're going. And we cruise up to this sailboat, and I'm peering over her shoulder looking for the two incognito music acts that I hired for the voyage. And beforehand, I'm texting them the whole trip like, oh, what do we wear? What do we sing? And then I see them on the horizon toward the boat. And I go, you guys look amazing. Because they were totally, I just told them like inconspicuous streetwear.
Blend in.
And they had roles. They pretended they were married couples.
That's funny.
And
they came with props.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Just like work-related stories, and the whole trip, Bailey was like, I think those guys work at Disney because they said rehearsal in Orlando. Little did they know that they were rehearsing for this moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everyone on the boat was in on it, with the exception of like 10 randos, which I couldn't book the whole ship for a private seating, but it worked out. And then, one of the singers distracted Bailey saying, I see a dolphin. And Bailey goes, let me see. And then they usher her to her mark. And then the boys start singing a classic tune. If anyone wants to look it up, the song that I proposed to moments prior was Can You Stand the Rain by New Edition. I would totally vouch for it, Jerry. You gotta propose to this song. It's a good song. Anyway, so I did it. She said yeah, and then the rest of the ship was just a battle of the bands until we returned to port.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the rest of the day was just hanging out with that rock on her finger.
It sounds like a stupid fat rock. From the sounds of it.
Stupid. That rock fat. Yeah, because what was the person in the TikTok? Oh, why am I dead naming the bands that I hired? I want them to get the boost of this podcast. Yeah. I hired Moonshot out of Orlando, and then Careless Vibes out of Miami. They drove 4 hours to do this for me. So, of course, I love all 4 guys of Careless Vibes, and then the whole crew for Moonshot. I wouldn't change anything. It was so good.
It sounds like it went pretty ideally.
If anything, I would have done it at sunset, but then we would have missed out on the Earth, Wind, and Fire concert, which would actually have been a good thing because Earth, Wind, and Fire was all boomers in the amphitheater. There were so many 401ks in the building. Anyway.
But that's great.
That's great.
The conclusion to the proposal arc has finally ended.
And what an arc it was. And then Bailey was made aware of the podcast Talking Out of School. So we tried to search for the moment in the podcast, and I couldn't find it.
It was buried deep.
I got to work on the timestamps. I guess that's to my benefit. God forbid the word slipped out.
Right.
So.
Sweet. All right. Well, we also have a lot of video games to talk about this episode.
We have so much. Good thing we got all that IRL stuff out of the way.
Now we can buckle down, talk about some digital interactive entertainment.
My favorite kind.
So, how about I hop in here?
Hey, hop into what exactly?
My enthusiasm for games.
To which show? Is this NPR? What is this?
Like which radio
Chris,
show?
Chris, yeah. What is the name of our program?
Oh my God, we've really lost the reins here. This is Mobius Tubes, a video game podcast, episode 68. We're recording this on November 21st, 2021.
And thanks everybody for letting us have months and months between. It feels.
Yeah, but we're gonna make sure all that waiting is rewarded this episode because we're bursting with content. We've played more games than ever, and we are going to predict the Game Awards as we've been known to do.
That's right.
I'll kick things off. Just going to give some quick closure. I did wrap up that whole Mass Effect trilogy playthrough. Played 3, beat it, loved it. These are still some of my favorite games. I don't need to elaborate too much more about them. The only thing that I'll maybe call attention to, that these games were kind of ahead of their time in one key aspect that few imitators have ever come up to the plate to try to copy. That feature being the importing of your save into the future installments of the series, taking your Mass Effect save, loading it into Mass Effect 2, and right from the get-go, before you make a single dialogue choice, you're already playing a different Mass Effect 2 than almost anyone else.
Because the cold open for Mass Effect 2 is one of the best cold opens that have ever been cold.
That's true. Mass Effect 2 does have a great opening, but the whole game has been altered based on your decisions from the previous installments. And that's crazy. Of the hundreds of thousands of video games out there, I struggle to name more than a single handful of titles that do this save importing thing. There's BioWare's other popular franchise, Dragon Age, does do that.
Oh, okay.
Witcher does it to a much smaller extent. They only care about like a couple choices. A couple of the Telltale games do that, like The Walking Dead, the sequels to the Walking Dead games. So you'll have some choices carry over.
Yeah.
And the last one I could think of was like the Banner Saga does it. But that's not too many examples for it's a feature that has a lot of potential.
Wait, did you name The Witcher?
Yeah, I named The Witcher.
Oh, okay.
It's not nearly to the same scope or scale that Mass Effect does it, but The Witcher does include some save importing. And it has to be such an expensive feature. As I just think about, for example, one of the mainstays...
Voice lines alone.
Yeah, there's so much additional content you have to create that by necessity, a large section of your player base will never see because they've been sectioned off from it. But I just think of... I was watching a YouTube video recently, and I didn't know this, but like... A mainstay of the Mass Effect franchise is Garrus. He's like a very popular squad mate. You don't even have to recruit him in Mass Effect 1. You can just leave him on the Citadel. He doesn't join you on your big adventure. And that's a scenario that a fraction of a percent of the player base is ever going to abandon Garrus. But since that's in there, BioWare has to account for that on the future games, and that's insanity. First of all, you're a psychopath if you reject Garrus, but... the fact that it can be done and needs to be accounted for is just, I can't even comprehend how much extra work that must be.
In his absence, the easiest thing to do would be to shoehorn somebody else into that slot, which I guess they do. See, they don't have to change the tableau of camera angles. Like there's a Garrus-sized gap in this like Avengers Assemble pose.
It's funny, they do have stand-in characters when you leave when either people die or you leave people behind.
Yeah.
But they're not cardboard cutouts. Like some of them are realized characters in their own right.
Right. And it doesn't feel like just shoehorning in to make a full team. It kind of feels like the show must go on.
Yeah.
If an actor gets sick in act 1 of a play, you can't just write them out in act 2. Without
it coming across as
like
artificial.
Act 2 is like 30 hours long.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I needed to say. Mass Effect still, I think it's the first game I can think of that does this save importing, and it's arguably still the best. So hats off to BioWare. They were doing some great work 10 years ago. All right. I kicked us off. Why don't you tell us what you've been up to, Heath?
All right. Enough of this Mass Effect stuff we've been hearing forever.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a game we've never talked about, right? Or did I name drop it in the last episode?
Is this the game we both been playing?
Yeah, we both
I don't know.
beat it.
We haven't name dropped it because the last time we recorded, it wasn't out. This is a fresh game.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Hot off the presses.
Right. We beat Inscryption.
Both of us.
And that's a card game.
That's quite the game.
But that's underselling it. Calling it just a card game.
Where do we even begin with Inscryption?
It was a spooky time. I wanted to feel some frights for Halloween.
Yeah.
It's not a horror game. It's just like scary themed.
It's oozing with some spooky ambiance.
Because you start off I love the way Pat at Castle Superbase described it. You think that you're playing a card game against Satan, and he's just teaching you how to play. And when you die, your soul gets trapped in a card, essentially. That's as much as I want to spoil it. We'll talk about the rest of that later.
Sure.
And it is a fun card game. I really dig it. You have played 7 card games over the course of this show, but this one I really enjoyed. I didn't think that the mechanics, the drip feed of new mechanics was pretty good in the first 3 hours.
It's overall, I think it's paced great.
Okay.
Okay.
Later on, when it starts adding quadratic equations, we'll talk about that. But yeah, super spooky. The boss battles are fun. I'm always looking forward to them. You think that it's just a card game against Satan until he tells you to get up from the table, and then you realize you're in an escape room locked log cabin.
Yeah. Just to ground listeners maybe a little bit more, this is from a small indie dev, maker of Pony Island and The Hex. He makes some really experimental games. This is his newest one and by far his most popular game, Inscryption, released in time for Halloween. Like Heath said, it's a strategy card game with a lot of moody atmosphere. It's a grainy aesthetic.
You can literally turn the grain off in the display settings.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
I never tinkered with that.
What, were you getting a headache, migraine from all the grain?
I thought it was part of the game's aesthetic appeal. When you start playing, you're kind of thrown into the deep end. Very little context for what's going on. Gameplay, if you like the gameplay, Heath, you're basically playing Slay the Spire. It's so similar.
Yeah.
It is a deck building game where you go from encounter to encounter. You even pick your branching pathway between the battles, just like Slay the Spire. And each little section is broken up with a boss battle. I have to imagine the creator obviously has played a lot of Slay the Spire.
Yeah.
And it's almost as much fun. And yeah, it's
you get thrown in with little context, and the only context you get is when your cards talk to you.
Yeah, so very quickly things start to go off the rails. Your opponent is a very mysterious man. You only see his eyeballs from across the table. He's all covered in shadow.
And his vocal font is all wub wub.
It is. Just like that. He's an intimidating man.
With the occasional wub.
You're playing a very head-to-head standard card game with a couple cool twists. How do you like the scale mechanic? So the victory condition in this game, instead of just reduce your opponent's HP to 0, you're kind of having a tug of war with them.
Yeah.
There's a scale, and every time you hit the opponent, you get to add some weight on their side, knocking their side of the scale closer to the table.
Yeah.
And when they hit you, they add weight to the opposite side. So you kind of need to have more momentum than the other person to finally finish them off.
Which is better than a flat first HP to 0 type deal.
It has the potential for swingy comebacks.
Yeah.
You can be on the verge of death, but if you get in 1 or 2 really solid turns, suddenly you've completely changed the trajectory of the game.
Especially when you get into the wetlands and you have to deal with all these kingfishers that don't attack your cards; they only attack
you directly. Yeah,
and then you'll get into these swings where it'll be -4 to you, +4 to him,
right?
And just it's like a metronome.
You're doing a ton of damage, but he's doing a ton of damage back. So you guys are kind of locked in a stalemate.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty cool.
I never got those birds into my deck. I didn't care for them.
I didn't care for them either.
Yeah.
I was more of an insect deck kind of person.
Oh, okay.
Queen ant.
Oh, yeah. Chris loves ants. We know this.
So I thought that was a cool standout feature. I also really liked the economy of this card game. The fact that to play new cards,
It's very bare bones. Yeah.
you're required to sacrifice cards on the field to pay for new cards. I've seen
That's common.
It's common because that's not how like a Hearthstone works or even a Slay the Spire works. They have like a separate currency that's just kind of
Your
like
mana
grows
or
over
just
time.
action points.
Yeah. Where this I feel like adds a little bit extra richness to your decisions.
Or more luck involved? No, because you can still strategies around it.
Yeah, maybe you're a little more dependent on your card draw. That could be true. But I like that suddenly every card in your hand both has its utility to you for playing it and also has its utility to you as a currency. So it's like a multi-use. Every card is potentially multi-purpose.
How long did it take for you to get over sacrificing the cards that talked to you? I know for the first hour, I was like, oh, this will reflect. This will. I don't want to pull an Undertale and needlessly kill my friends.
Yeah, obviously some cards are like giving you advice or like they're asking you questions. They become characters in their own right.
Because when you do it, the Stoat will be like, oh, come on, just as his card vanishes from the game table.
Yeah, and I remember one card I played like, oh, he accused me of using him as bait.
Yeah. I much prefer the stink bug. She has a much nicer demeanor and won't be like, yeah, that was a total misplay.
It's very cute. Yeah. And I say it's very cute, but this is an ominous game. So like you said, you don't know too much what's going on. Eventually you find out you're in a half card game, half escape room type scenario.
Which is why I thought like Bailey's got to put her hands on this, but you have to want to do card games.
There's no getting around the fact that this game is mostly card games.
Yeah, if you can't slave over a 2-minute decision looking at your hand, looking at what he's got, then don't think that the escape room will bait you into a more funner time.
Yeah. The escape room portion adds a whole lot of flavor and personality to the game, but it's not the entirety of the game. Don't get confused by that.
Boy, the puzzles, the get it up to 5 puzzles.
Oh,
how long did those take you?
It's funny.
Are you so used to the sigils from Slay the Spire cards that you could just math it out?
Probably the first 2 I solved, I wasn't exactly sure what I was doing, and I solved them via brute force until I eventually realized, oh, I'm trying to this is an actual battlefield.
I did solve one with brute force, felt bad about it, spent the time to figure out why it worked.
The ones later in the game, you need to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're nigh impossible to solve.
Yeah.
I said it's reminiscent of Slay the Spire. This is a roguelite game where eventually you fail and you'll get reset. But here's where a lot of the story comes in. You realize failure results in the death of your character. Your opponent, your shadowy opponent you're playing against, will take you to the side room upon your fail state, and he has this special camera. He snaps a picture of you, turning you into a card. You'll figure this out pretty soon. And here's the third and final thing I really like about it mechanically, that death card system. How cool is that? You get to make your own little card here at the end of each run.
The better your hand, the better your deck the whole way through, the better you could possibly make that death card.
Exactly.
To help you in future runs.
You get to make this Frankenstein card that takes the cost of one of your cards from your deck, the stats from another, and the ability from a third, combines it in this amalgamation, super powerful card, and then that card can potentially show up on your future playthroughs. Do you have any standout death cards you made that really carried you?
I think the first death card I made, which got the sigil from the cat, which was infinite sacrifice.
That's great.
That's always what's the first decision point where you have to decide between getting a cat or getting a snake.
Okay. The snake that can instantly kill.
Yeah,
right?
the insta-kill snake or the unlimited sacrifices cat.
I chose cat.
Yeah, anyone who's ever played like another card game type game will be like, oh, the cat makes the most utility.
The cat's economic value is through the roof.
Amazing. Yeah. So I think my first death card was like the strength of a wolf, the cost of toad, and then the unlimited sacrifices, which maybe doesn't make sense because you wouldn't want unlimited sacrifices on such a high cost card. But or wait, what did I just say?
You said cost of a toad,
yeah,
so it's only
I'm a genius.
pretty cheap.
I'm amazing.
Yeah, and you also get to name your card, which is fun.
Yeah, obviously you do your first name first, and then you name your brother, and then if you have a terrible run, and you ended up with it because every bad run ends with a death card.
Every run ends with a death card. Yeah. Well, every failure run.
That's why I said bad run. Yeah.
Got it.
So, if my deck was lackluster and I ended up with a poor death card, I just named it like Chad or just I gave it poopy butthole names. What did you do for names? Do you have a list of names?
I
you circulate
got
with?
real lucky and blitzed through this part of the game. I only ever made 2 death cards.
Oh, okay.
And I only ever saw one of them, which
Yeah.
was kind of a bummer. I was hoping to get that second one because it had that cat ability as well.
Speaking of this part of the game, it's the best part of the game.
I was having trouble deciding which part was my favorite, but I think I agree with you. I think it is the best part of the game.
Yeah. I wanted more of it in Act 4 and 5.
How disturbed were you by your opponent's hands? His hands are freaky.
What, the tree monster kind of looking?
When he grabs his camera, he's
yeah.
holding his camera, or when he reaches across the table,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
hands grotesque. Scariest part of the game. Had me shivering. And can we talk about how you also have some consumable items that can help you get you out of a sticky situation?
And they're so good.
Which ones did you rely upon?
I mean, if I was at the crossroads of getting more items versus getting buffer cards, I went with buffer cards. But I enjoy I can do a heck of a lot with the squirrel in a bottle or a goat in a bottle.
Right.
Which is just sacrifices to a greater extent.
What was your reaction to the first time you used the pliers?
Oh yeah. It's I wasn't expecting it.
Me neither.
Same thing with the knife.
Let's not talk about the knife.
Okay.
Because that's a little deeper into the game. But since you're in this game of life and death, and the stakes are dire, if you're in a tough situation, you have a consumable pair of pliers you can use, and your character will like reach over and grab him, put him in his mouth, and tear out one of his teeth to be put on the scale to help you get closer to victory.
And your brain makes the connection. Oh yeah, those are teeth that we're adding as weights.
Right. How they contextualize like the items like that really brought me into the experience. I thought it was really cool.
What brought me most in were the threatening moments where your captor. Oh man! As soon as you realize what you need to do to beat him, and you get the special item from one of the puzzles in the escape room, and a character and a card is like, "Quick, take it now before he notices." And the captor's like, "What do you have there?" I was like, "Ooh!" That was the most
tense.
exciting moment. Right down to the final moment where you think that you kill him, and the text, his subtitles go from orange to red.
Yeah,
I was smashing the button so fast.
That was tense.
I probably missed a line of dialogue, but it was the exchange. It could not have been more immediate.
You said this game's only spooky aesthetically, but it can be pretty tense.
Yeah.
I propose that since we both beat in the game, how about at the very end of this podcast, we talk some spoilers.
Sure. Then there's a lot of this podcast to go through.
Of course, yeah. But since this is a relatively new release, and I'm sure many listeners haven't played it and who might be interested in playing it, we'll
many listeners, this game, by the time you're listening to it, it's probably $5.
It won't be that cheap.
No, it'll be that cheap.
It's gonna get the Game Awards bump.
Okay. Potentially, we hope. But hey, if you see it for like $5, buy it. That's just so smart of a purchase decision.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go against my usual advice and say this game is worth full price.
Okay.
If you're willing to pay the $20.
Yeah.
But no harm in waiting.
Even if you don't like card games, you'll have a cool uncle that does, and he'll enjoy it.
I think as long as you aren't completely averse to card games, there's a lot you can appreciate about this game.
Yeah. So we'll talk more about it in like 70 minutes.
Yep. Stay tuned for that. Heath, word on the street is you played another game.
Dude, I played so many games.
Yeah, let's keep it rolling.
I beat Superliminal.
Ooh, okay. That's in my Steam library.
Uh-huh.
And I heard it got like a co-op mode recently.
Oh, did it?
Maybe.
Okay.
So tell us about Superliminal.
Well, it's the Impossible Space 3D puzzle platformer from the makers of Not Portal, but it might as well be Portal.
Played in first person, right?
Yes. You're in a dream state. That's why you're able to do all the impossible things that you're able to do. The hallmark of this game is objects that you hold are as big as they appear in your perspective.
Yes.
So you can, if you're up against a wall, it'll be small. If it's in your field of view in a large room and you let go of it, it will occupy as much space in the large room that could be explained by your field of view.
Objects closer to you are bigger.
Yes, that's true, Chris. Very good.
Further away, they get smaller.
Right.
But like the actual space they take up gets bigger and smaller, depending on your perspective.
Right. So there'll be the exit gate will be 50 feet in the air, and you'll have to walk up a wedge of cheese to get to it. That kind of fun thing.
That's a type of problem solving I feel like I never engage my brain with. I feel like this works muscles that you never use. Is that the case?
Yes, you say that, but this game has been out for a while, so I've watched the compilation of streamers react to Superliminal.
Oh, okay.
And so I was aware of its conceit, which definitely assisted me through 8 of this game's levels. There's 8 levels.
Okay.
And I had fun with it. But for a few weird reasons, it brought this game down a couple of notches. I played it on my Switch.
Ooh.
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend it on a Switch.
Okay.
Because think of it. It's this 3D showcase of impossible geometry. The frame rate takes a hit every time you're walking too fast through a hallway or whipping around an interactable. There's a cloning level where you can no matter if you click as many times as you can, you'll end up with 60 of the same instance.
Got it.
In a puzzle chamber
spawning in your level,
and you'll get some screen tear, you'll get some frame drops, and
sure.
And I'm usually the one who does not complain about that. If you're playing Spider-Man Miles Morales and the web swinging stutters for a smidge, if it dips down to like 40 FPS as opposed to 60, I don't complain.
Okay.
This game deserves to be played on a beefier system.
Because the physics simulation is pretty demanding.
And the physics simulation is the game.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Tim Rogers, the
Of course.
extremely verbose essayist on games. He describes games as having a game flavor in his tone of voice, right? He describes Doom as having as a game with two flavors: search and destroy. And he goes on to say in his fun way, a game with only one game flavor is not a game at all.
Really?
Yeah. Do you agree with that sentiment? Because this game is like a game with only one flavor, which is just like explore.
I feel like one flavor it's a distillation.
Yeah.
It's like how much can we chip away from this idea before the main idea is just as pure as it can be? I think that can be done well or poorly. Depends.
Okay.
So I guess I disagree.
I forget what he called Cyberpunk's 2077's game flavors. Yeah, those are. It's fun to boil things down.
So are you saying Tim Rogers would be not a fan of Superliminal?
He would call it like, just
an activity.
Just like yeah, he would call it not production. What am I trying to say? Yeah, he would say it's like amusements software, not really a game. So I would put it on a thicker system, and I would not watch the trailer to learn more about it, even though I kind of put the trailer into word form for the audio listener.
Sure, but I think it's such a visual game that just hearing it won't give away that much.
Sure. Yes, there were puzzles that had me chortling with their creativity. I only had to look up a solution once. It's for the Many Apples fan room.
Of course. That
one's
one's notorious.
Yeah, everyone will know about it. That's like that's a solution that you had to be aware of from the get-go, I feel. Because the puzzle prior teaches a different lesson than you think is going to lead you to the exit gate. I mean, that's as much as I'll say there. Yeah, it's no Portal. I would play Portal again. I wouldn't play Superliminal again because I've seen all there is to see. But I would definitely tell people to check it out if they're up for more of them. Their Antechamber Witness. I'm just name dropping now.
All those first-person puzzle games.
Right.
Talos Principle.
This you put this right on the shelf with it. You don't leave it in the gutter with. Now I got a shit on a puzzle game. No, they're all. If anyone aspires to make a non-Euclidean puzzle game, it's probably really good.
Yeah. Such a cool idea.
It'll blow your mind in fun ways. So it's not like hot take. There are no C tier non-Euclidean geometry video games. They're all B and up.
B or better.
It goes Talos Principle, Superliminal, Portal.
Cool.
Yeah. So that was the other game that I beat in the past 12 hours.
Nice. How long did you spend with Superliminal? Is it short?
It's 4.5.
Okay. That's a nice, tasty morsel.
Yeah.
I've been playing even more games. It's funny. Do you want me to talk? Which one should I talk about first?
Well, I also logged back into Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Let's dive into that.
Okay, but it's just, more of the same. Tons of seasonal stuff happening. New characters here, unlockables there, island ordinances, which cost 20 bells, so 20,000 bells, so it's really good.
Just correct me if I'm wrong. There was like a big version 2.0 update, right?
I guess so. I mean, that's just what I've come to find from this accumulation of updates.
Got it.
New hairstyles, new reactions. I updated my island's flag, and
what was the state of your island after so long away?
oh, you can envision it. It's just covered in weeds. My house is full of cockroaches. I got to clean this place up. Today is Sunday, so I invested all my money into the stock market.
Yeah.
I need to sell those turnips before Friday, or they'll rot. My entire net worth will rot. So
high stakes.
I got it in. I got in when the gooding was good, and there's a Thanksgiving Day event. It's still the same Animal Crossing. If you've played 5 hours of it, you've played 50 hours of it. I think I'll dip into it one more time this week now that I've gotten to binge all the new stuff. Here's a funny moment. You have to picture it. I forget. Oh, who was it? Was it Olaf? Maybe one of my villagers said there is a tape deck. No, it was the news bulletin that said, "Hey, we put a tape deck in the town plaza so that you and your friends can do stretches in the morning as part of your daily routine." Bailey and I go, "What?" Mind you, this is like 6 a.m. that we're playing this game.
Okay.
Because we after going out Friday night and driving back Sunday morning, we slept most of the day. So she wakes up at 5 a.m. and catches me tending my flowers. And then we discover this tape deck thing. I put it up on the big screen after I just played it handheld. I beat all of Superliminal handheld. Maybe that's what made it throttle. I don't.
Could be.
I don't know. So you press the button, and then all of your villagers come to congregate in the town plaza. Mm-hmm. And then the Switch is like, "Yo, you want motion control or Joy-Con control?"
Oh,
you know what I mean, analog, right? And I go motion, and I usher Bailey. I rip the blanket off of her. I get her off of the couch, and we do the calisthenic beep bop bop. Just the Animal Crossing. You have to picture this: 6:30 a.m.
Yeah,
we're doing the Animal Crossing new updates, and we did it. We did the whole thing, and we clapped along to Captain's song when we sailed to the island adventure side quest, I guess.
Did it work well? Were your motions like registering, right?
Yeah. It did half decent, and that's your Animal Crossing update for the year.
And was the island was it in full swing the fall season? Have you played in the fall before?
No. Wait, surely I've played in the fall before. But yes, your answer is yes, because autumn leaves, new butterflies and fish critters for the compendium, just racking up all the best titles. When you make achievements in your Nook Miles app, you'll earn a title. Stay tuned for this. You'll earn a title that will say, "Oh, you caught 50 butterflies. You're an eco-friendly Avenger," or just it'll have an adjective and a noun, and so you can put fun combinations together. I think I left the game. I powered it down, saying wide-ranging trash on my passport that other players can view. So it's always fun to see, what fun titles you can come up with. Other ones were, Everlasting Father, and just wacky. It's basically Mad Libs, everybody. But yeah, Animal Crossing, New Horizons, got some quality of life. Literally life, because it just feels like real life. You're cleaning your house, you're tending your garden. And that'll be a fun game to dip back into for a quick, maybe 40-minute stint, and then forget about it until I have children. So back to you, Chris. That's all of the games I've played,
and I appreciate it.
I flexed on them.
Full docket.
Yeah,
feels good.
Yeah.
I too have a full docket because I have played not one but two more games, other than finishing Mass Effect and Inscryption.
Is one of them a Forza?
No.
Okay, good.
I've got one that's super old and almost no one's going to care about, and the new hotness. I'm going to bait the listeners and start with the old one.
Okay.
So I finally dove into the Zero Escape series. These are murder mystery visual novels that often get recommended in the same breath as the Danganronpa games, which is what turned me onto them.
Wait, this is like that black and white game.
It's not black and white, but it definitely has some dated presentation because the game I played, it's called 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors, often called just 999. This is an 11...
Oh, yeah, 999.
Yeah, 999.
Yeah.
It's an 11-year-old Nintendo DS game that's been ported to modern systems.
Do you have to hold it like a book for sections?
So I played it on PC, so I definitely was not holding it in any weird ways.
Oh, yeah, that's a 999.
Yeah, old game. It is...
Takes place in Resident Evil.
All right, so conceptually, you've been kidnapped, you wake up, you were drugged, wake up on a cruise liner.
That's what I remember.
Along with 8 other victims. You all congregate in like
8
the main...
other 13 Sentinels.
Yeah, this is a Japanese developed. Definitely has an anime aesthetic to it. You're notified by a mysterious figure named Zero that you've all been forced to play this death game called the Nonary games.
Does he also have a black and a white half of his body?
He does not, but he is masked.
All right.
You're informed that in 9 hours, the vessel you're on is going to be submerged. It's sinking.
Is that real time?
It's not real world time, no.
But it works out to be.
It's 9 in-game hours. I played the game for like 17 hours, so it's not in-game.
Oh, okay.
That would be cool, though. It's not.
That's a long length for a murder mystery.
It is, and I'll get in a little bit into why. And you have to seek a door with a 9 painted on it. That's the exit. And you're forced to play these in between the narrative sections. You're forced to do these puzzly escape rooms, of which there
sounds excellent.
Yes, we talked about Inscryption being a escape room. Now, here's another escape room game for all those escape room fans.
This is a spiritual predecessor.
Kind of. And I had a great time with it, but I struggle to praise this game. If I zoom in to like scrutinize any of its individual elements, none of them really hold up that well. So presentation-wise, this is an 11-year-old portable game. It really does not look great. The character designs are not immediately they weren't appealing to me exactly. As far as the environments you're in, it's all gray metallic interior of a boat. It's so drab. Nothing about this game is fun to look at. So presentation...
So it doesn't look like Catherine.
It does not look like Catherine. It does not look like an Atlas game. Nothing about the presentation drew me in. The music is fine.
Okay.
Music gets a pass.
The art style gets a 2-2-2.
It does get a 2-2-2. So the puzzle design, these escape rooms you're doing, they're really unremarkable. They're inoffensive. They're fine. The highest praise I can give them is that they were never frustrating. They don't use weird circular logic. They were for the most part intuitive. Mm-hmm. They were fine. Nothing I'd stand up and applaud as being particularly clever.
Are they like BioShock sludge puzzles? What were the puzzles?
Oh, the directing the water through the pipes in real time.
Yeah.
There's no real time elements. You're hunting and pecking through the environment for clues, looking for like a key.
Like Agatha Christie type stuff.
Yeah. It's really just, it's fine. It's not worth criticizing, but it's just not worth really praising either.
Okay, sure.
And last but not least, like the writing in this game, the dialogue, it can be so corny. No one in this game talks like a real person. and I eventually became endeared to it, but at times this feels like an edutainment title, where like
That's good.
A character will like pull you aside, and he's talking to your player character Junpei. They'll just be like, Junpei, I know we only have like 7 hours left to escape, but I really need to talk to you about the crystallization of glycerin right now in nitty gritty detail because it might be relevant. Or like, by the end of this game, you become an expert at computing digital roots.
Wow.
It's like,
oh my God.
Did
they teach you the semaphore language?
It did not.
Okay.
And then occasionally you get like a history lesson on this author who like predicted the fate of the Titanic.
Yeah.
It's really, it's fun. It's kind of fun. It's really dumb.
Mm-hmm.
No one would speak like this in a life or death situation, but I grew to like it. Yeah. The characters did grow on me. So yeah, these individual components, they're not great, but holistically, I did really like the game. I was intrigued by the mystery. I thought the explanations had some good payoff. And last,
you had this game on DS?
I never had this game on DS.
You never had a DS?
I did have a DS.
Oh, okay.
For the bulk of my DS time, I was playing some Mario Kart DS, not playing visual novels. I would have called the person who played this a nerd back in 2010. Anyway, it does some branching pathway stuff. This is something, my favorite part of the game is the branching pathway, which other games have done, like Mass Effect, for example. But a point of praise that's worth calling out is how it uses the mechanic of the branching pathway to relate to the game's themes and relate to the game's conclusion in such a way that I thought was pretty artfully done. And I'm being intentionally vague because to go into extra detail would be very spoilery.
Ahead of its time.
Yeah. I have to imagine anyone playing this when it released back in 2010 would have found this to be pretty groundbreaking stuff.
Cool.
So good job, 999.
Yeah.
It made me jazzed to play its sequels. So on that front, it was successful.
10 to 10.
10 to 10. The sequels aren't named that. I think one is Virtue's Last Reward.
Oh, man. These do sound like Vanilla Skies.
And Zero Time Dilemma, I think, are the other names.
Friggin' what's Project Triangle?
Project Triangle Strategy?
Yeah.
Just pick any 3 words, combine them Mad Lib style.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will continue to play the Zero Escape trilogy, and I will let you know if the future installments become any more modern or any more worth playing. This one I really liked, though.
Can I get an American version?
It is pretty Japanese.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to my personal.
Can I get a version of 999 that stars Jimmy instead of Junpei? Moving on.
My 4th and final game I played for this podcast. Forget games from 10 years ago like Mass Effect and 999. I'm playing the newness, Heath.
Did you play?
I'm playing
Mario Rabbids Donkey Kong?
Halo Infinite.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is super new.
So talk about the feel-good video game moment of the year. One of the most anticipated games of the year, Halo Infinite. It launched for free 3 weeks ahead of schedule. When does that happen? We're used to games getting delayed and getting more expensive. Right. So the fact that it came early and free, that was a power move by Microsoft. And it was to celebrate
the 25th anniversary of Combat Evolved.
It was the 20th anniversary of Xbox as a concept launch. The original Xbox launched 20 years ago.
Right.
On November 15th. So Microsoft knew how to celebrate in style. They launched basically the entirety of Halo Infinite's multiplayer. And you can download it on Steam. That's where I'm playing it. And it's on all the Xbox systems. Totally free. I didn't pay a cent. And it's pretty cool.
It's crap. I was gonna shoot. You know what I was gonna say?
What?
I was gonna say it's Halo Reach 2. But it's not.
No. I wouldn't say it's Halo Reach.
You know why my brain told me to say that?
Enlighten me.
Because Elden Ring is Dark Souls 3 2.
Fair. Sure.
for what I saw.
Yeah. I'll give you guys my hot take on Halo Infinite. And it is a tepid room temperature take because I agree with what everyone's saying, basically.
Yeah. Universal consensus.
Yeah. The 343, the developer, they nailed the fundamentals. The game feels great to play. The 30-second game loop you're constantly repeating, super satisfying. Things are balanced well, feels good. It's great. It's super intrinsically rewarding to play, just to get the satisfaction of it's Halo, and it feels good.
Does it make you feel like a Spartan?
Oh, yeah. I feel like I'm at Thermopylae. I guess the only thing that's surprising me about how positive this reception to the gameplay is people, hearing comments like, oh, 343, they finally did it. They finally modernized Halo. This is what we've been waiting for the past decade. Finally evolving on the original Bungie Halo games into what we wanted. And to that, my only question is,
Why didn't they do this sooner?
No, it's the opposite of that. I feel like this game is just a small incremental improvement over Halo 5's multiplayer, which is the most recent Halo game, not counting Infinite. Came out at a time where the Xbox One wasn't doing so hot. I have to assume a lot of these Halo Infinite stans didn't spend a lot of time with Halo 5's multiplayer, because I found Halo 5's multiplayer to be rock solid and very reminiscent of how Halo Infinite feels.
Oh.
And that's a good thing, because I loved Halo 5's multiplayer. Halo 5 gets dunked on, rightfully so, for having the worst campaign in the series, but the multiplayer was aces. And I feel like a lot of the praise that I thought Halo 5 deserved for its multiplayer equally applies to Infinite. It feels like dressed up Halo 5 to me.
What color was Halo 5's campaign? Was that the gold ooze?
It was Spartan lock colored.
Okay.
Yeah, infamously, you spend most of the time
Is that
playing...
the big ball? No, that's Destiny.
Playing as a new character, Locke, and you barely see Master Chief.
Oh,
You play as Master Chief in like 2 to 3 missions.
Does his armor have a cloak around it?
I think it's grayish blue.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. Halo 5 has really bad enemy encounters, really bad level design. They repeat the same boss over and over again.
Oh,
it's really lazy.
Very Arkham Knight.
But not in a good way.
Okay. I meant to say Arkham Asylum.
To dial up the difficulty of Halo 5's boss fights, they just spawn multiple copies of the same boss.
Yeah.
All right, but that's neither here nor there. Halo
Only
Infinite.
Doom can do that.
Oh,
and have it be good.
Okay. I can't say I know exactly what you're referencing, but I'll take your word
Doom
for it.
2016.
It spawns multiple bosses? I'm sure. Yeah, I guess it does.
Yeah, probably. In a big old Slayer pit. Speaking of Slayer, how come they can't the multiplayer? You can't just pick a game mode Slayer.
Yeah. So here, let's dive into the criticisms of this game, because everything around the minute-to-minute gameplay is pretty disappointing right now. So yeah, the fact that you're so limited on jumping into a match, there's 3 playlists you can jump into. You can do the quick play, which is arena-style games. There's big team battle, or you can do some practice bot matches. And that's as granular as you can get with your preferences. You hop into big team battle or quick play, and then you're up to the whims of matchmaking what you end up playing. You don't get to choose what map.
Because this is
you
technically
don't get to
a
choose.
beta.
You're right. So that's worth highlighting. This is technically a beta. So this more than likely is going to change. You're going to get more control over what mode you're playing.
Balance adjustments.
Yeah. More features. So this game is coming in hot because while the multiplayer feels like it's in great shape, the campaign, when it launches in early December, it's not going to have any co-op play, which is a mainstay of Halo. No co-op, no Forge mode. It's lacking a lot of series-honored features. So it seems like it's coming in pretty hot, meaning the dev
But it's
team,
free, though.
But it's free. The campaign's not free, but the multiplayer is totally free.
So your younger brother can get on their thing.
Yeah, my brother could hop on Steam and start teabagging some noobs.
Yeah. Did you see Did you see that tweet that was, I forget who posted it, but it was somebody who said, I'm starting to feel the generational divide. And it was a post that was like, why are people twerking on my corpse?
Twerking.
Yeah.
They don't say teabagging.
Well, they don't know what teabagging is. Yeah.
Right. So that brings us into this. That brings me to the other criticism, which is, yeah, it is the battle pass. So to, I guess, appeal to the younger crowd, the kids who've grown up on Fortnite.
Fortnite is dead now, right?
Is it?
I'm asking because you've played Halo Infinite.
I mean, I was never into Fortnite, so
No, but now that you know how good now that you know how good Pepsi is, you can say how long Coke has.
I see. Well, that's the big question that remains to be seen, because there's a whole generation of kids who don't really have a connection to Halo right now, like people our age would.
Yeah.
They like Fortnite, they like battle passes, they like skins. So Halo Infinite.
Wait a second, Master Chief is in Halo.
What?
Right?
Master
that was
Chief,
a meme.
Master Chief is in Fortnite.
Oh, yeah.
You said Halo.
wait a second.
Master Chief is in Halo? The poster child of Halo?
Impossible.
Wait.
I meant to say Master Chief is in Fortnite,
He is,
right?
yes, he is.
Oh, so yeah, now the kids are like, look, it's Master Chief from
Fortnite.
Like the John Wick meme. You're right.
So they're trying to ease kids into this, making it free, adding in that battle pass.
Hello, fellow Spartans.
And the fact that this is a free-to-play game comes with all the pros and all the cons.
Right. Did you see the joke that was like, it's called 343 because that's the number of matches you have to play to level up once in the battle pass?
Yeah, so if you care about anything other than the minute-to-minute gameplay, the meta progression here is pretty darn stingy. You level up this battle pass by getting XP, but how do you get XP in this game to earn all the cool cosmetics and stuff?
Surely it's merit-based, centered around your performance in game.
Right, that would be appealing, wouldn't it be? But it's not.
What?
You're not incentivized for your personal performance. You're not incentivized to win matches either, or like play the objective. Mm-hmm. You get these rather niche personal objectives that could be totally unrelated to the match you're in. And completing these objectives are the only means to earning XP. What are these objectives like? They could be something...
Headshot from 100 meters.
I haven't seen that one, but that's a good example of something that it could be. It could be something like...
Steal the flag.
Get 3 kills with a gun goose vehicle.
Uh-huh.
And it's frustrating when, if you want to complete that challenge, you're getting put into maps that don't even have gun geese on them.
Oh, leave the lobby.
Hop out of the lobby and
then
try again.
Everyone else has to play with bots until the matchmaking fixes it.
And then also, like, assuming you do get loaded into a map with the proper vehicles are already a hotly contested commodity. Like, people want to be in the vehicles. So the fact that you're being incentivized to get on this very limited there's like 1 or 2 on the map.
Want to go progress in the battle pass.
You need to get in the vehicle, but everyone's already rushing towards the vehicle, so there's no guarantee you're going to get the vehicle.
Okay. And if you don't get it, you just throw a sticky grenade at it and it blows up instantly, right?
I mean, the people will ignore the objective of the match and just camp by where the vehicle's going to respawn later, waiting for their opportunity. So it's incentivizing people to ignore the actual game and do their weird niche personal objectives. It's not great. It's really slow. But for all of this meta progression criticism, and like the store prices on cosmetics are like egregiously high. This was a Reddit post I saw. I can't confirm this.
I want to buy the Arbiter's sword.
You'd think like you want to choose what color your Spartan's armor is, right?
I like orange.
The color selection is so limited. Someone crunched the numbers, and if you wanted to have the same breadth of choices that Halo Reach had for how many colors you could do, you'd have to go to the store and pay over $100,000 to get the same amount of colors that Halo Reach had. That's
impossible.
It
has to be.
That sounds clickbaity.
An extrapolation.
So maybe that's wrong. But that was a very upvoted Reddit post that I was reading. So everything around the game, not super good right now. But I need to praise the fact that you have the entire gameplay suite available to you for free. If you just care about playing and the gameplay, it's all there for you at no cost, and you're not limited in any way. Like, there are no premium maps, there's no premium modes. You have full access, and that's worth praising.
This is like the opposite of Far Cry 6.
Oh yeah,
where outside of the game, oh, so cool, they got Breaking Bad man as the villain. Wow, oh, look at this cool, like, Nicaragua, yeah. But then you actually play the game and it's dog poo-poo. Halo is the reverse.
Yeah.
Where the game is awesome, but it's, all the accoutrements are missing or out of whack.
Yeah. But if you're not a person who cares about cosmetic in-game items, then you can go into this without any reservations and have a great time.
Are you just green Halo man?
I had the option of being yellow, so I'm yellow.
Uh-huh.
If I want, like, slightly different shade of yellow, though, that's going to cost me.
Apply for a loan. What do the colors mean again? Is it like engineer is something?
I don't think that's tied to colors.
No. I thought maybe I got to read the novelization again.
There's many.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a Halo tutorial now.
I heard about that.
There's a tutorial, which I think
Craig walks you through it. Remember Craig, the brute face?
Yeah, I mean, how could you forget?
Okay.
From the reveal last year.
All right.
So yeah, I think this Halo Infinite's really trying to appeal to people who may not have played Halo ever before, a new generation.
Yeah, that's me.
So there's a tutorial now. You can play matches by yourself against bots, which Halo has never done before, and they're pretty good. Except people are really salty because the bots you play against have much cooler armor than any human players, because they have all the customization options.
Sure.
All right, that's really all I had to say about Halo. I've played it for like 6 hours so far, and I'm having a lot of fun. I'm just not expecting to have cool armor anytime soon.
All right. Yeah. Do you think that'll get rebalanced this year?
They've already made minor tweaks. I have to imagine more tweaks are coming.
Okay.
Whew. All right. We've been at it for more than an hour. What say we take a break, and when we come back, we're going to do our time-honored tradition of predicting the winners of this year's Game Awards.
Yep.
See you then.
Hitman 3 is a VR game?
It has a VR mode, yeah.
Wait, so if I'm disguised as like a hibachi chef, do I have to be like, toss the rice ball into the customer's mouth, and Mr. Hitman goes, bon appetit.
Your movements probably don't have to be that precise, but yeah,
that's
first person.
That's so fun.
It's pretty cool.
Wait, a half to cocktail shaker, the poison drink? No, it's just the cup is right in front of me, and I just
probably
fill it. All right.
But yeah, you see it from the first person.
Oh, and then the suspicion meter of the big boy in the corner.
The overseers.
Yeah,
yeah. You got to duck out of the way.
Oh, just duck.
And we're back.
For those of you who are unaware, our founding fathers first nominated the Game Awards back this episode's past.
What are you saying?
And since then, it has been a time-honored tradition. Chris has been treated to a few wins. You know, he seems to be on the pulse of the Jason Schreier. No, that's not his name. Who's the
Jeff
host?
Keighley.
Jeff Keighley.
Gamers everywhere.
Jeff.
I know what they think, how they feel.
You know what? And that's only because you've gotten a look at the EGAD. What's the $7,000 PDF?
Oh, yeah, the gamer demographic.
What's it called?
Results. EDAR.
EDAR. Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah. That's the only reason Chris knows about games so much. So, the Game Awards, our favorite awards,
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I don't watch any other award ceremonies.
Not even not even the hospitality awards for. No, actually, you know what awards I do care about also is like the Streamies, because that's the one where like Bill Wirtz will get an award.
Okay.
You know Bill Wirtz, right?
I do not.
He made the History of Japan video.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That man deserves every award that comes his way.
So does Lucas Pope. Yo, Lucas Pope, hurry up and make another game. I'm waiting.
He only releases masterpieces, so we
I
gotta
know.
wait.
I'm eagerly anticipating.
Yeah, anyway, we've predicted the Game Awards since our inaugural episode, and we love to do it. We're going to take another crack at it this year, 2021. A year, and I feel like I've said this before, but this time I really mean it. This was a bit of a weak year for games. This was like an off season.
Sure.
I think
no God of War.
Yeah, no. There's not. I don't think there's going to be a unanimous game of the year this year, which makes the job of predicting all the more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've given any single game more than like 2 to 3 awards in total, according to my predictions. So very evenly distributed.
No Disco Elysium.
Yeah, no sweeps this year. I'm calling it now. 2 or 3 is all they're going to get. Anyway, it's been a long episode. We might as well just dive right in, should we not?
We should get cranking.
All right, we'll save the GOTY for last, as always.
Yeah.
We'll need to pull up the website so we can read out what was nominated.
Well, you don't got all the nominees?
Not on my spreadsheet. I only picked the winners.
Sure.
How do you feel about your predictions this year, Heath? Do you think you're locked and loaded, ready to go?
I am pretty ready to go. I'm pretty sure.
My confidence level is middle of the road.
Uh-huh.
Don't feel particularly good or bad. Okay.
Wait, bit direction.
Yeah, this one.
Hang on.
Oh, have you not done that one?
Did I skip it? Okay, weird. That was
an oversight.
That was omitted from just the
right,
Google search.
Then take your time.
Jesus.
I'll vamp while you're thinking.
I don't need enough time.
All right. Best Game Direction, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. The 5 nominees this year are Deathloop, It Takes Two, Returnal, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. So previous winners of this one in the past have been Death Stranding.
Yeah.
And God of War 2018 won that year.
Yeah.
And last year, I want to say it was The Last of Us Part 2 won Best Game Direction as well. So games that are trying to take the industry in maybe a new direction, try something new. Some good options in this list, I thought.
Shoot, I'm going to change it again.
I will wait for you. Mine is locked and loaded, so I'll wait for you to declare your final answer, Heath.
Yeah, okay. You want to know where my thought process went?
Yeah.
It started with Deathloop, thinking, oh, that's a novel, the die again, come back mechanic. That's innovative. That's groundbreaking. But, that's... And then I saw It Takes Two, and I thought, that's more creative, albeit maybe not up Chris's alley, but maybe the awarding body would see that as more worthy of
praise,
of innovation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, outstanding creative vision. Yeah, and then it made me want to give it to Haze Lightman. But then I saw Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart.
Okay.
And that's also the fun alternate dimension
hopping.
Titanfall 2 world switching. And because It Takes Two has already been done as well
by other Hazelight games.
Prison Break, and that's not the name of the game.
A Way Out.
A Way Out. And Brothers Two Thumbs.
Brothers Tale of Two Sons, which is a single player game worth
that
pointing
you used with 2 thumbs, yeah. So I wanted to give it to Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart.
All right.
That's where I eventually ended up.
I can't fault you for that. You can make a case for any of these games. I gave it to It Takes Two this time, just because there aren't. You did say A Way Out does the same kind of shtick.
It does it like exactly the same, Chris.
But those are the only. It Takes Two and A Way Out are the only two titles I can think of that are these dedicated two-player only games that necessitates you having someone else to play. No other way to experience it. Plus, I heard it really throws new idea after new idea at you from each level to level. They don't repeat. They don't recycle any content. They really, everything feels like it was lovingly made. So I'm gonna go with Takes Two. Plus, how many games out there are about reconciling divorce? That's the.
Well, that's narrative. That has nothing to do with game direction.
Yeah, I guess.
Or you think that that's gonna bleed into people's consideration?
I mainly said that as a joke. I'm giving it It Takes Two by Hazelight Studios.
Moving on. On to Best Narrative.
Yeah. The nominees are Deathloop, It Takes Two, Life is Strange, True Colors, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Psychonauts 2. A lot of repeats from the previous category.
For outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game.
Right.
Maybe it's just the Game Maker's Toolkit video, but I gave it to Psychonauts 2.
Okay. That's a strong contender.
I don't think that there are many narrative leaps and bounds to be had in the Marvel's game.
Sure.
And It Takes Two is also creative. But I just looked at the talking book and said,
the talking
no.
book is the anchor weighing It Takes Two down, sinking its chances.
Yeah.
For that reason, I'm giving it to Life is Strange, True Colors.
Okay.
I don't think this is a lock, but of these 5 games, that's the only one who people play purely for the narrative. You could play Psychonauts for the platforming. You can play Deathloop for the gunplay.
Right.
But the only thing drawing people into Life is Strange, True Colors is the story and the characters.
But it's never won. It's always been beat.
Yeah.
This we know.
I've heard this is perhaps the best Life is Strange game. So if it was ever going to win, maybe this is the year to do it.
Because the other Life is Strange games,
but
we're all black and white, and this one has true colors.
I'm not super steadfast in my confidence here. I could see it going to something else.
Then we will breeze on over to Best Art Direction.
Yeah.
I always get this right.
Ever since I poo-pooed Return of the Obra Dinn.
Wait, no, Disco got it last time.
Last time was 2020.
Yeah.
Disco came out in 2019.
What? Last time was Kentucky Route Zero.
No way. I don't know who won last year, but it wasn't Kentucky Route Zero. Anyway, this year, 2021, the nominees for Best Art Direction are The Artful Escape, appropriate title, Deathloop, Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
All of these games, except for Psychonauts 2, are really pretty.
You don't like the look of Psychonauts 2?
It's too gross.
It is a weird art style.
It's too gross. Ratchet and Clank had the best graphics of like the year.
It's really pretty.
Yeah, because it's got that Sony money.
That's true.
But it doesn't have the best art. That's Artful Escape. Have you seen it?
It looks pretty darn dope.
It gets my vote.
That's a strong content. Yeah, I see how you landed on that. I'm going to differ once again and say it's going to Kenna, Bridge of Spirits. That's a new developer who got their start as an animation studio. So
didn't they make Kenna something else? What do you mean it's a new developer? I thought this is their first game?
This is their first game.
Oh.
They've made like trailers in the past.
Okay.
So while I hear the gameplay maybe not stand out, but Kenna looks real good. Pixar-esque. I don't think it stands too much of a shot at winning anything else. So if it's going to win an award, I think it's probably Best Art Direction.
Oh, you always say that.
I do always say that.
Yeah.
And it's right about half of the time.
Yeah, we'll see if it's right this time. Moving on Best score and music.
Yep. For outstanding music, original songs and or licensed soundtracks.
Oh.
Do you want to make an amendment?
No, I mean the reason I have my hesitation. The nominees are The Artful Escape, Cyberpunk 2077, Deathloop, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and Near Replicant version 1.224177487139.
Yeah.
Licensed soundtrack. That's Guardians' whole shtick.
It is the whole shtick of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh man.
Who do you think is winning this category?
I said Nier.
You're a man after my own heart.
Nier has the good music.
Nier has excellent music. And, to back up your case for Nier Replicant, the last time a Nier game was nominated for Best Music, it did win back in 2017.
Automator.
Yeah, Automata won Best Music. And I think Nier deserves to win, but I don't think it's going to win.
Because of the Cyberpunk.
Because I gave it to Guardians of the Galaxy.
Because of the licensed music.
Because of its strong use of licensed music.
Ain't no mountain high enough.
Although, we also could be blindsided by the fact that The Artful Escape is all about music.
It's got a guitar in the thumbnail.
Yeah, it's about a guy trying to become a rock artist.
No, you don't know.
No? No.
If the Artful Escape, no.
All right, you said Nier Replicant. I said Guardians of the Galaxy.
So is Crypt of the Necrodancer. Wait, no, that's not. Maybe not. Are they trying to become a rock artist in that game?
I think you're just trying to survive in a dungeon.
Yeah.
Best audio design, the next category. The nominees are Deathloop, Forza Horizon 5, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, and Returnal. Who did I give this one to?
When in doubt, I'm not going to give it to Forza, even though car sound go vroom.
Yeah.
I went with my tried and true, and I gave it to. Oh, this is different this time. Resident Evil Village.
We agree.
Because the horror game, right?
Yeah.
You want to hear the crack of the stick behind you, and the.
Yeah, the audio is essential to immerse you in a horror game.
Big lady footsteps go boom.
We both agreed in 2019. Clearly, Resident Evil 2 Remake will win Best Audio Design, and then Modern Warfare won it. So.
Oh, yikes.
But yeah, I feel like there's a case to be made for Forza Horizon 5, how they really changed the audio based on what surface you're driving on. Little subtle
Yeah, you reported on that.
changes there. But yeah, I'm going to say Resident Evil Village along with you for Best Audio Design.
All right.
Best Performance. This is a toughie. So this is awarded to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and or performance capture. And the nominees are Heath.
Erica Mori as Alex Chen in Life is Strange Girl. Giancarlo Esposito as Anton Castillo in Far Cry 6. Jason Kelly as Colt. What's my name, Colt? Who? What? What is this? Oh my God, he killed someone. What? What's my name?
He's the protagonist of Deathloop.
In Deathloop. Maggie Robertson is Lady Dimitrescu in Village Resident Evil. I said that. Weird. And Ozoma Akaga as Juliana Blake in Deathloop.
Yes.
Colt's nemesis.
Rival nemesis.
She's good.
So here's the thing, Heath. This category would be easy mode if only
Pollos Hermanos.
If only one of the actors of Deathloop were nominated.
Oh.
Because I've heard nothing but praise for their dynamic. The two leads of Deathloop, Colt and Juliana, they have great chemistry together, standout performance. Here's the thing, though. They're both up for nomination. Do they split the Deathloop vote?
Oh, yeah.
And then a third underdog wins because of that split. So I think there's a high chance of that happening. That said, I didn't know who else to give it to because for as much of a sensation as Lady Dimitrescu was in Resident Evil Village.
She's big.
She's big, but she's really not a big part of that game. For as big as she is, she's not big in the game. She has a limited role.
Right.
Giancarlo Esposito, I'm sure he does a great job. Those Far Cry villains are always very charismatic.
He's Breaking Bad.
He's Breaking Bad, but I feel like we've
He's also
seen...
not in the game a whole lot.
Yeah, exactly.
He appears in billboards mostly.
There's a good chance the Life is Strange True Colors could win Best Performance.
No, it's gonna go to Giancarlo.
Oh, is that who you said?
Well, because he's the big face.
He is the biggest actor here. Yeah.
I mean, Keanu not being here says a little bit.
Oh yeah, he did a good job reportedly in Cyberpunk. But
wake up, samurai.
I'm giving it to...
We have fried chicken to cook.
I'm thinking it's Ozuyama Akaga as Juliana in Deathloop.
Yep.
I feel like Colt is maybe a little more vanilla.
What's my name?
Having not played the game.
What? Oh, you still haven't played it?
No.
Because you're waiting for the kinks to get rubbed out.
I'm waiting to buy a graphics card.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I say Juliana from Deathloop, Best Performance.
All right.
And you said Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
Cool. Next category.
Oh, shoot, I forgot this one.
All right, take your time. Think it over. This is Games for Impact, for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. We've got 5 nominees here. Heath likes what he sees, apparently. The nominees are Before Your Eyes, Boyfriend Dungeon, Chicory, A Colorful Tale, Life is Strange, True Colors, and No Longer Home. Of these, I have only not heard of No Longer Home.
Really? Wow. All right. Give us the scoop on all of these.
Okay.
I guarantee you the audience doesn't know.
Okay. Before Your Eyes, coolest gimmick I've heard all year.
What?
To play,
What?
You need to plug in a camera to your computer, position it at yourself.
Uh-huh.
And in this game, you physically blinking is a mechanic.
Wait. And there's a cat.
In this image, there's a cat. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Because Bailey told me that if a cat likes you, it will blink at you slowly.
Yeah. I've been told that by my girlfriend as well.
Do you have to? Yeah. They all. This is in their basic programming.
When you go to Girlfriend 101 class, you learn about the slow blinking cats.
Yes, you do. That's in the syllabus.
Or fiance in your case.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you yourself blinking will cut scenes short in this game.
Oh.
It's supposed to show how like time is this ephemeral thing.
Uh-huh.
There's a great video essay by Jacob Geller on this game.
Uh-huh. I'm trying to do the rest of this category without blinking.
Boyfriend Dungeon deals with things like consent and stalkers.
Oh.
There was some drama about people wanted to play the game, but without that tricky subject material. But
and
the
developer
developer
said no.
They said no. They said it was like, that's why we made the game, so it's kind of important that you see it.
Uh-huh.
If you don't want it, we recommend you don't play the game.
Yeah, play Girlfriend Factory instead. That's for the folks who don't know. Chris, what's Rent a Boyfriend? That's the anime name?
Rent a Girlfriend.
Rent a Girlfriend. Okay.
You
yeah.
think it's called Girlfriend Factory.
We always, when Bailey and I are like, ugh, anime, am I right? And people are saying, oh, aren't you a big fan of My Hero? Shin Megami Tensei, yeah. And then Bailey will be like, Girlfriend Factory, right? as a bastardization of Rent a Girlfriend. But Boyfriend Dungeon is right up there as far as goofy, like, anime namesakes.
Chicory, it's kind of like a coloring book aesthetic game, but it deals with themes of like
colorblindness,
imposter syndrome.
Oh, what?
And the creative process being really taxing on creators and stuff like that.
Oh.
Life is Strange True Colors does Life is Strange stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything about No Longer Home.
It also has a cat.
Also has a cat.
I picked Life of Strange.
I was between that.
Wait, did I say Life of Strange?
Life is Strange True Colors is what you selected.
Okay.
I think I might end up regretting this. I was between Life is Strange and Chicory, A Colorful Tale. I'm giving it to Chicory.
Oh.
I think it might appeal to the content creators who are voting on these games.
That's
since they also get involved with the creative process, and it got good reviews. So Chicory, A Colorful Tale, and I said it before, I'll say it again. It's not nominated anywhere else. So if it's going to win, this is the category to do it.
What a confidence boost that game got. Best ongoing game.
Yeah. So we've heard about these games before, like every year. Here we go. Best ongoing game nominees are Apex Legends, Final Fantasy XIV Online, Fortnite, Genshin Impact, and Call of Duty Warzone. This was tough for me. I feel like I'm always just like throwing a dart when I pick this category.
Where we dropping?
You think we drop in on Fortnite?
No. Are you a big fan of the Naruto inclusion?
No. I am more of a fan of they put the games from Squid Game into Fortnite.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
That is cool. I'm still not going to play it.
No.
But I'll nod in agreement with that decision.
Uh-huh. Can you play the Squid Games at the MLK Memorial reflecting pool?
I don't know what you're getting at.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
No.
Fortnite did a Martin Luther King Day event.
Oh.
Where they had, you can put your avatar, you can do dances in front of the yeah. Okay, yeah. So you sprint into the Time magazine cover, and then it literally plays. You can be Travis Scott walking around the MLK. I had it for a brief moment. Yeah, you jump into the hole, and then you watch the "I Have a Dream" speech.
This is crazy.
In its entirety. Yeah, because that's like whole epics. Fortnite is a interactable medium.
Yeah, it's a metaverse.
Yeah, so you can Naruto run in this now.
Oh yeah.
That Naruto has been included.
You could tell me literally anything has been added to Fortnite, and I'm inclined to believe you.
Yo, Chris. They added voting to Fortnite.
You vote from Fortnite?
You can yeah, the presidential election, yeah.
You say that, but 2024 is like 3 years away. It could get added.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, best ongoing game.
Back to the show.
This is really a shot in the dark. I'm giving it to Final Fantasy XIV.
I also give it to Final Fantasy XIV.
Hey!
I heard great things about all the special stuff.
It gets nominated every year, and it's never won.
Oh.
I feel like it has built up so much goodwill over the years. It's got to win eventually, and I'm going to say it's winning this year. The only thing that could bite me in the butt, though, it has a big expansion that's dropping in December.
It got delayed, yes.
So, like, I feel like if the expansion was out now, it's a
shoo-in.
But its big push has yet to happen, so I don't. Am I shooting myself in the foot? I don't know. I'm still giving it to Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah, because that expansion is going to be a slam dunk no matter what. Especially since they delayed it.
Yeah. All right. Next category. Ooh, this one's going to be spicy.
Yeah.
Best indie game. And the nominees are 12 Minutes, Death's Door, Inscryption, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, and Loop Hero. Remember Loop Hero? That was big earlier in the year.
I don't at all.
Oh, okay. It was kind of like an idle game.
Uh-huh.
Like a
idle game.
Cookie clicker type of game that kind of just progresses without you being too involved.
Oh, an idle game.
Not
an idle game.
Not IDOL.
That's where my brain went.
IDLE.
I was like, what kind of tsundere? Yeah.
All right. So, this one's contentious.
Yep.
I'm giving it to Inscryption.
I'm also giving it
because
to Inscryption.
I feel I'd hate myself if I gave it to anything else.
I was trying to avoid the Outer Wilds syndrome of, I played this game. It was great. It has to win.
Yeah.
I could totally see it going to Kenna. I can't see it going to 12 minutes despite
me neither.
Despite every actor being in it.
12 minutes was too divisive.
Right.
I think the front runner other than Inscryption is actually Death's Door.
Oh.
People were hot on it. It's a Zelda-y isometric game.
Oh.
Pretty cool story, I think.
Zelda's never been isometric.
It's been top down.
It's never been isometric.
Top down, which is close. It's like
4X.
isometric's cousin. All right, so I think if the panel of judges played all of these games, I think Inscryption wins. I'm worried that Death's Door cast a wider net by being like a bit less niche. Probably sold more copies, and popularity does factor into the voting here. That said, I think if anything other than Inscryption wins this category, it just calls into question the entire validity of these awards. So, got to be Inscryption.
All right. Then we are in agreement. Best mobile game presented by Verizon.
Great voice. Best game playable on a mobile device. That's self-explanatory. All right. Here we go. Nominees are Fantasian, Genshin Impact, League of Legends Wild Rift, Marvel Future Revolution, and Pokemon Unite. I don't really know anything about Pokemon Unite.
Oh, it is League of Legends for infants.
Oh, that's what it is. I remember hearing about it now.
You pick Snorlax, and then it's just the most rinse repeat gameplay you've ever seen.
Dang.
There is no room to style on them.
So why would you pick that when actual League of Legends is on the list?
Right. Mobile game? No, yeah, I did pick League for this.
You're going with League of Legends Wild Rift, which I think is a pretty safe pick. To be contrarian, though, I went Genshin Impact.
Ha.
Do you think Genshin is cooled? Because it won last year.
It was hot last year, yes.
No way it's as hot now.
No.
That's
unless they did something different with their egregious monetization.
It's a gacha game.
Genshin is also it's the whaliest of the whales.
You know, you are the person who taught me what a gacha game was on this very show.
Yeah. And then in return you've taught me the other 99% about video games that have happened to this show.
I'm still sticking with Genshin Impact. If League of Legends takes it, you deserve the win, Heath.
Both of us, I could see either of us going for that one. On to best community support. Oh, man, familiar faces again. We got Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14 Online, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky.
Which won last year, right?
Oh my god. No Man's Sky is the Skyrim of video games. It just keeps coming back.
All of these games keep coming back.
Yeah.
I can tell you what's not winning, and it's Destiny 2. After that, it gets trickier to narrow it down.
Well, specifically because the community support has been just lackluster.
Here's where I fell, Heath. I have trouble differentiating best ongoing game from best community support. So I'm just going to cut my losses and say it's Final Fantasy 14 again. And if it wins one of them, I'll get 1 point.
No, I gave best comm sup to Fortnite.
Okay.
Because that's just it's like the quality of life thing. Best ongoing game has to do with the entertainment of it, and like, whereas best community support is kind of like moderation. And,
communication.
Yeah.
Epic is nothing if not responsive.
Yeah, they can.
So
yeah, I mean,
you have a strong case.
They put the squids in there like the next day, right?
Yeah. Developers.
That's support.
Developers definitely crunched on that.
Uh-oh.
They did not see their families.
Don't award that behavior, but do award best community support to Fortnite.
And I'm saying Final Fantasy 14. Okay. Innovation in accessibility presented by Chevrolet. Do you think that's a tip of the hat to who's winning this category?
No, it can't be. They've sponsored this before, right?
So just for the unaware, this category is recognizing software and/or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by even wider audiences. And the nominees are Far Cry 6, Forza Horizon 5, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and The Veil, Shadow of the Crown, which I don't know anything about.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you familiar?
No, I'm not.
It looks like a Darkest Dungeon.
It looks moody, yeah.
This award always comes with a sizzle reel of people using the games in accessible ways.
Yes.
And me going, oh!
That's what it would have been.
That's perfect. I mean, my brain went to Ratchet and Clank because they got that Sony polish.
Yes.
Surely they are looking out for differently abled gamers.
Made by a Sony first-party studio, and Sony really does push. A Sony game won this category last year with Last of Us Part 2.
With Last of Us, yeah.
So that's important to their family of studios.
Although you can do a million different things accessibility-wise with a racing game.
Did someone say granular difficulty?
Yeah. Forza can literally do everything.
Yeah, it can be a realistic racing simulation, or it can drive itself. It has the entire spectrum. I am giving it to Forza Horizon 5.
I'll be contrarian. I'll say Ratchet and Clank.
I think we both have strong cases.
All right.
Accessibility is important to Microsoft as well. They made the accessible controller.
Wait, Microsoft's in this game. What? Oh, sorry, that's Forza.
Yeah, Forza. Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot. Okay, I forgot Chevrolet didn't make Forza. Sorry, Microsoft's been doing it before.
Yeah, they made an accessibility controller.
I mentioned it on episode 7.
You probably did. Yeah.
Moving on to best of VR. That's funny.
Best VR AR
That's
game.
Cute.
So virtual reality. The nominees are Hitman 3, I Expect You to Die 2, Lone Echo 2, Resident Evil 4, and Sniper Elite VR. Is this Hitman 3's only category?
Yes.
That's shocking to me. People love that game.
Yeah, but it's like Hitman though. You know,
which is a boon to some and depressing to others.
It gets a Game Maker's Toolkit video, and that's it.
It gets a glowing Super Bunny Hop video too.
I can't. Me and George's video game taste could not be further apart. He'll be like, I love this farmer survival game. And I'll be like, what? What are you doing? Although he did love Spies and Mercenaries. Is that what it's called?
Oh, okay. Is that the social deduction game?
I think so, yeah.
Anyway.
This also is a category that comes with a sizzle reel of VR gameplay. It makes me go, ooh.
Of course.
Sniper Elite is a VR match made in heaven. Have you ever touched a Sniper or an Elite?
I haven't touched them, but I know of the series, yeah.
I feel like there's no better reality to kill Hitler in than the virtual reality.
Okay. That's a controversial statement.
I didn't mean to. All right, well, yeah, because you know that Sniper Elite's whole shtick is shoot him in his one single ball.
Yeah, you get the slow-mo testicle kill cam.
Yes, and what better way to experience it than in full 360 degrees
sensory mode? Yeah.
Although wearing a VR headset would probably make me feel as sick as being a sniper on the front lines. What did you give it to, Chris?
I'm giving it to Resident Evil 4.
Oh, good, because of the spooky men.
Yeah, it's a classic game which I hear holds up in VR, and it's new.
Oh, the binaural audio is probably just as cool.
I don't know what that is.
Buddy, like,
educate me. Binaural audio. Is this a hallmark of Resident Evil 4?
No, but when you're wearing a VR headset, you know, you can experience the parallax of the source. You can be like, oh, there's a creeper behind me.
I'm with you now.
Okay, shut up. I'm gonna give it to Sniper Elite.
Okay. Best action game.
Here we go.
For the game with the best action.
Shut the it's primarily focused on combat.
Yeah.
We have some familiar faces. That's not true. I think all these are debut nominees.
No.
Back for Blood, Chivalry 2, Death Loop, Far Cry 6, and Returnal.
Yeah.
So the combat in question, in the order that I described it, is Left 4 Dead zombie shoot 'em ups, sword swinging first person action, like what's the other Mordhau?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other Chivalry game. Death Loop is Dishonored but disco. Far Cry 6 is Far Cry 3, 4, 5, and that's it. And then Returnal is kind of creepy.
It's a third-person shooter, but bullet hell. You're like dodging projectiles.
Oh, is that what it is?
And it's roguelike.
And it's horror, Dead Space.
A bit, probably. Yeah.
That's all well and good. Of these 4 games that I'm actually considering, I wanna give it to Back for Blood.
Ooh, a return to form from the original developer, cooperative, fun shooting. Yeah, I'm giving it to Deathloop. Haven't said Deathloop yet, but Deathloop's gonna take this one. I guarantee it.
Whoa. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's your arcane paycheck in your pocket, I see. Best action / adventure game.
This was maybe
the easiest.
Ooh, I thought it was the hardest.
What are you talking about?
Like normally I narrow it down to 2. This one I was deadlocked between 3 of them.
Okay.
So the category is for the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. And the nominees are Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. I forgot who I even gave it to. Okay.
Come on.
I'm saying Psychonauts 2.
Metroid Dread, baby.
Oh, yeah?
Metroid Dread was good.
Psychonauts 2 is good.
Yeah, but Metroid Dread embodies this genre.
It's like the Founding Father returns from the dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put some respect on her name.
Yeah.
Wait, how much Psychonauts 2 have you seen?
Not that much.
Get out of here.
To be fair, I was thinking it's Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, or Ratchet & Clank. But I basically flipped a coin. I said Psychonauts 2.
Fair enough. I gave Psychonauts an award earlier in the program, so although this is probably one of the awards I feel most strongly about.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you heard about Metroid Dread?
Yes.
It's like well executed.
I believe it. Okay, for sure.
All right. Best role of playing a game.
Not a banner year for role playing games.
Wait, what does a banner year mean? Like if there was a Last of Us and a God of War and a
Red Dead
and a Dark Soul?
Yeah, that would be a banner year.
Yeah.
All right. Best RPGs, we've got Cyberpunk 2077, Monster Hunter Rise, Scarlet Nexus, Shin Megami Tensei 5, and Tales of Arise.
You've put eyes on most of these, right?
I've got eyes on them, yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of weird seeing Cyberpunk in these awards, isn't it?
Oh, what? Because of the shame?
Because of the shame. Like, let's not even talk about it.
It's like, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's probably the most, that says the most. I gave it to SMT, baby.
Ooh. The series that spawned Persona.
I hear such good things about SMT. I think audiences are gonna lap it up.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like
it's just the same sort of demon corralling gameplay that you come to love in Persona.
It is, and from what I hear, the demon corralling is even better.
Right. Yeah.
But it doesn't have the best part of Persona, which is the daytime stuff.
So yeah.
I'm giving it to Tales of Arise.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the game.
Did you mean to say Monster Hunter Arise?
No, Tales of Arise.
Okay.
This might be the first Tales game I bother to try.
Oh, that's right. It's a Tales game. And when I think of Tales game, I think of Sword Sand.
You know, we're both coming from a perspective of relative ignorance on the Tales franchise. I don't know that much about it.
That's true.
I know it's real-time combat-y.
Come on, Atlas. You've done it before. You're going to do it again.
All right, now this was the easiest category of the show.
Yes?
Best fighting game. Games designed primarily around head-to-head combat. We have Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Hikonami Chronicles.
Yeah.
Guilty Gear Strive, Melty Blood Type Lumina, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, and Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown.
It's the easiest, you say.
Yeah, this is the easiest.
Because you're going to give it to Guilty Gear.
Obviously.
Okay.
It's Guilty Gear Strive.
But I heard Melty Blood.
I've never heard Melty Blood uttered in my life.
Wooly really approves of Melty Blood. Yeah, he says that it does some fun things.
Well, if it gets the Wooly bump, then...
But no. Wooly's done like tens of hours of lore baiting in Guilty Gear.
Yeah, it's definitely Guilty Gear.
Yeah. Nickelodeon might have been a teensy bit in consideration if only it included a single voice line.
Oh, that's right. There's no voice acting.
What a tremendous botch. And the rest of the fighting games...
Wait, they also didn't use any licensed music, right?
Yeah.
It's all really generic.
Yeah. What are you doing? Has an IP ever been so disrespected? Yes.
Probably.
In the Lion King game. And I'll say no more than that.
Okay.
Hey!
Best family game.
Wahoo!
Best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform. Nominees are It Takes Two, Mario Party Superstars, New Pokemon Snap, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, and WarioWare Get It Together.
Who's voting on this again?
It is a panel of industry judges, and also a portion of the vote is just popular people who cast their votes on the website.
Yeah. So for that reason, how much of a boost does Mario Party get? Just because it's Mario Party.
Because of sheer clicks coming in?
Yeah.
I feel like if we were basing this off of sheer clicks,
Pokemon Snap?
You know, I don't think the people who are buying Mario Party Superstars are logging onto the Game Awards website to vote.
Fair.
I think this is clear cut and dry. It Takes Two.
What?
Yeah. That's what I gave it to.
But Bowser's Fury was so lauded.
It was, but that's also like half the game.
Okay.
The other half is Super Mario 3D World, which is old, Heath.
It Takes Two. No, It Takes Two wins other awards. It doesn't win Best Family.
It wins Best Family Game. What better to keep the family together than divorce?
No, Chris. It's Bowser's Fury.
Okay. That would have been my second
and
pick.
I'm sticking to it.
Very well. Here's a strategy. Sorry, I slipped of the tongue.
Yeah.
Here's a category that upset me.
Oh, shoot. What the fuck? It's back.
It's back, and I don't know why.
Best
All right.
sim/strategy
Best
game.
sim/strategy game. The nominees are Age of Empires 4, Evil Genius 2, World Domination, Humankind, Inscryption, and Microsoft Flight Simulator.
This is so problematic.
I don't understand what Microsoft Flight Simulator is doing on this list.
Did they add a new Cessna?
Not only was it nominated last year,
It won.
Won last year. What? It has no business being here. This happens every year. There's like one game that sneaks in that was previously nominated, and I can't understand it. One year was Beat Saber got nominated 2 years in a row.
Because it added new songs.
But that doesn't mean it's a new game.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I like the other games in this category. I've watched Evil Geniuses too. It's a tower defense. And then Humankind is by the makers of Not Civilization. So
Right.
And it looked cool. It did different things. And then Inscryption, we've talked about and gonna talk about.
Yeah.
Microsoft Flight Simulator is like, don't let the bad guy win.
Right. I mean,
again.
So
if they did win, it would be just a total cannibalization of this category 2 years running.
2 years running.
The outcry should be deafening.
Right.
But no one gives a crap about this category.
I was so ready to give it to Inscryption, but what's holding me back is...
What, the mainstay of Age of Empires? That's the daddy coming home to win again.
Okay. I was just thinking that, all of the parts that make Inscryption so special and so worth playing aren't necessarily the strategy components.
It's the narrative.
It's the holistic package.
Sure.
If we're talking about, what it's actually simulating, what the actual strategy is, it's competent, but I don't know if it's category winning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not outstanding.
So I'm kind of reluctant to give it to Inscryption.
You didn't give me enough time. I said it's not outstanding.
Uh-huh.
If there was just a little more dead air, I would have said because you're sitting the whole time. I want to give it to Humankind.
Got it. It would be really weird seeing Microsoft Flight Simulator win 2 years in a row, same category.
I would cry a single tear,
and yet,
like a Native American.
I feel like that's the most beloved title on this list.
Who?
The same people who made it win last year.
Hopefully they all
I'm so torn.
Shuffled off.
Do you think they'll be like, oh, we voted for last year.
Yes.
We need to vote for something else.
Yeah, maybe.
Fine.
One can hope.
I'm going to change my spreadsheet.
Whoa!
I'm giving it to Inscryption.
Yeah! Stick to your guns.
I'm locking it in. I'm changing it to Inscryption.
All right. I said Humankind. Let's get away from that. I don't want to think about it twice.
Me neither.
Best of sports racing game.
Nominees are F1 2021.
Which is a racing game for people who don't speak alphanumerics.
On the sports/racing category, there is only one sports game.
Yeah, I was about to, you beat me to it. FIFA 2020, FIFA 22, Forza Horizon 5, Hot Wheels Unleashed from Chris fame back in April. You played Hot Wheels. No, you played the Forza game that had a Hot Wheels car in it.
Yeah, I see how
and
you
a track
get
and
confused.
the orange track.
Yeah.
And then Riders Republic, which is a Trials.
It's a spiritual successor to Steep, I've heard.
Oh,
and it's pretty good.
That's a downhill game.
Yeah.
Fun.
It's like extreme sports.
Yeah.
I think this one's a lock
for Forza.
For Forza
Yeah.
Horizon 5.
Which put any care into it.
Yeah.
Imagine if Rocket League was back. That'd be like the previous category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'd be upset.
I'd be less upset. Rocket League's cool.
Cool.
Hot Wheels. Woohoo. Okay. Best multiplayer.
Best multiplayer.
We got 6 nominees.
Oh, yeah. That's weird.
Yep.
Who did I give this to? Okay. Nominees are Back 4 Blood, Knockout City, It Takes Two, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, that Amazon MMO,
Yeah.
and Valheim.
Yeah, super weird pitting It Takes Two, a co-op game against an MMO.
Yeah, it's the whole gambit of different styles of multiplayer.
This is the most divisive category I had to choose.
This category was no sweat for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you not care about Valheim?
I care about Valheim to a certain extent.
I thought Valheim was pretty cool. That survival, crafting, first-person experience.
I don't care to play it, but I think it could be popular with the judges.
I heard really good things about it, and then it was a toss-up with that and Back 4 Blood.
I had no toss-ups. I just gave it to It Takes Two.
Man, you do think that's a disco?
I gave my most awards to It Takes Two, actually.
That weird book is gonna
bite me in the butt.
Gonna get you. It's box office poison.
The Book of Love.
I still want to give it to Valheim, but it's not gonna win. So I'm gonna say, let's do Monster Hunter Rise.
Ooh, okay. So not even Back 4 Blood.
Not even. I'm going off the beaten path.
Monster Hunter Rise reviewed very well. So
yeah, and it's $1 billion.
Okay.
Isn't it Capcom's highest grossing franchise?
It is, yeah.
Which is wild to think about.
It was niche for such a long time in the West.
Yeah, but Japan eats it up like it's something you'd eat up.
Sushi.
Yeah, in the East. All right. That's that one. Best debut indie.
Yeah, best debut.
We still
indie.
like this category? I thought there's one category that we... Okay.
I like it.
Right.
Yeah. It's for the best. It's like best indie game, but for a brand new studio putting out their first game.
Right.
The nominees are The Artful Escape, The Forgotten City, Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, Sable, and Valheim.
What's Forgotten City?
Oh, that's the game I most want to play of these. It's a narrative time loopy game, set in ancient Greece.
Yeah.
That started as a mod for Skyrim that was so well loved.
Yeah.
That it got split out into a full commercial product release.
Yeah, dude. That's been in the makings a long time.
It's like existed in some form for like a decade. Finally came out.
That's super interesting.
George from Super Bunny Hop loved it.
Yeah, he did. Wait, I should watch that video again now that I know what it is. Be that as it may.
I don't know if that got the proper exposure it needs to win.
No, yeah.
I gave it to Valheim.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I want to give it to Kenna.
That's a good choice, yeah. Valheim was pretty big, and then it tapered off, I guess.
Okay, that's what you give it to? Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I could definitely be wrong on this one, but I gave it to Valheim.
Sweet. And lastly...
I did put a guess for most anticipated if you want.
I ignored it because on your say-so.
We kind of, if you don't want to count it, we don't have to.
Hey, podcast listener, you want to hear us talk about the most anticipated game? We got fun ones to choose.
Yeah, these are solid games.
We got Elden Ring, God of War 2,
Ragnarok,
Horizon Forbidden West, Breath of the Wild 2, and Starfield.
Yeah.
Look at these ephemeral choices.
Lots of solid games and Starfield.
The only proved concept is Elden Ring, which we know is gonna be great.
Releasing most imminently, in February of next year.
Do you bet on that horse/goat? Did you get that joke? Your mount in that game looks like a goat.
Oh yeah? That's funny.
Do you bet it all on that one, or do you bet it on Breath of the Wild 2?
Yeah, so I think what sinks the chances of God of War Ragnarok and Horizon Forbidden West is that they split the Sony fanboys.
Yeah. They don't know what to think.
But Nintendo, the sequel to Breath of the Wild gets the full backing of all the Nintendo stands.
Yes.
So it's definitely a chance that wins. But I actually gave it to Elden Ring just because we know the most about it. There's the most to get excited about.
Yeah.
And
because that Krabby Patty formula has never been sweeter.
Yeah. Just the tagline of an open world Dark Souls is getting people salivating. And From Software has a sterling track record. So I'm going to say Elden Ring. The fact that it's the closest game of these 5 also just makes it extra. People are just foaming at the mouth for it. That's what I thought.
It may not be the best game, but it is the most anticipated.
Okay, so you agree.
Because they gave him a taste.
Yeah,
it's like a drug dealer. you give a free sample to customers.
Exactly.
Because they'll come back for more. Hey, and that's the whole show with the exception
of Game of the Year.
Yeah, all right.
The biggest one.
Let's whip it out.
Go to view categories.
Thank you.
And over here. All right. So 6 nominees once again.
Yep.
Which I think was the same last year. This is recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. The 6 nominees are Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. This was tricky.
Well, you're right. It's like an off year.
There's not a front runner among them.
Yeah.
My choice will not come as a surprise because it's Deathloop.
Oh, yeah.
I think Deathloop is going to be this year's Game Awards Game of the Year.
That'll be killer for Arcane. They never had that before.
You're right. Yeah.
They've always been overshadowed.
Could be a great moment for them. One that I think will happen.
And then they'll ride those coattails to the vampire game?
Oh, yeah. Redfall.
Yeah.
Which could be good. Why do I think Deathloop is going to win the GOTY? I feel like maybe it's the most broadly appealing. The other ones, I feel like maybe every other nominee appeals more to certain subsets of people. Like It Takes Two is for the cooperative fans. Metroid Dread is for the 2D game fans. Psychonauts 2 is for the platforming fans. Resident Evil Village is for the horror fans. But as far as like a holistically appealing game, I think Deathloop is perhaps the best.
For the kicking fans.
For the kicking fans. And it also...
kicking is very overpowered in Deathloop.
It's doing some pretty creative stuff, too. With its setting, with the time mechanics.
Well, buddy, you could say... You could replace the title of Deathloop with Ratchet & Clank, and all the things you're saying are kind of true.
Yeah. Ratchet & Clank does have broad appeal as well. That is correct.
Well... That's why I picked Ratchet & Clank.
Oh, you're going Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart as the game of the year.
First thing I put down.
So it is.
It's too polished.
Abbreviated to RNCRA.
Well, yeah. The bosses are too spongy, but that's a small price to pay. I think it was a solid choice.
Which one of these games would most surprise you if it won?
Psychonauts 2.
Really?
Yeah.
I would be most surprised of Resident Evil Village.
Sure. I don't know. I think the new Res team has been cranking out like mainstream hits.
That's true. Resident Evil is hot.
Yeah.
I should probably play some of those games.
Too scary.
They are pretty scary. I am a wimp. That's true. Okay. So there we go. One more year predicted in the books. We'll see how we do December 9th. I'll be in a hotel at the time.
I'll be because you're going on a trip?
I'm going on a trip, so we won't be able to watch it together like we've been known to do.
Oh, that's my favorite thing.
Maybe we can live stream it to each other.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's going to be this podcast, except if you want to stick around for some Inscryption spoiler discussion.
Yeah.
It's going to be spicy. It's going to be fun. But for the rest of you, this has been Mobius Tubes, episode 68.
Oh, we don't have any news to just clunch out?
Nah.
Okay. Yeah, this has been long enough.
Send us your emails. You can write to us at mobiustubespodcast@gmail.com. And have a good
Be the last email of this year.
Yeah. Make it count.
That would be fun.
And for the rest of you, stay tuned for Inscryption Talk right after this break. Can we play like a little Inscryption music as we enter this phase? Maybe like the trapper humming,
like, or the fishmonger guy's theme.
Sure, the angler,
or just the regular cabin over like the map scroll theme.
Anything that'll set the ambiance will do.
Okay.
Welcome to the Inscryption spoiler cast. Yeah, so please, if you have any intention of playing this game and have not done so already, tune out. I'd recommend you tune out.
Yeah, what are you still doing here? Didn't you heed Chris's warning? This is a banger. You should save it for yourself.
This is probably one of my favorite games I played all year. Maybe even...
But you played 13 Sentinels.
I like this game more than 13 Sentinels. I am super high on Inscryption.
Yeah. But just because it's that card game, that dopamine hit?
I like the core loop. I love all of the set dressing. I cared emotionally by the end way more than I thought I would.
Oh.
And I love all the meta twists and secrets.
I took screenshots with my phone.
I took a video on my phone.
Uh-huh.
All right, so leave if you haven't done so already. Unless you've played the game, in which case, take a seat with us.
Yeah. Our enthusiasm should be persuasive enough.
We'll lock your hand on the table with the little brace cuff.
Oh, they do that.
In PO3's world.
Yeah. Yeah, do you call him PO3? Oh, dude, did you ever go back and play just the cabin Act 1?
I'm intending to, but I haven't gone back.
Okay. Okay. Because Stinkbug catches herself when she goes, is the stoat around? And you go, yeah!
And the Stinkbug is Grimora, right?
Yeah, the undead queen.
Lady. So, what's the best approach to this?
Well, let's talk about what you might not have cared for, because when you first start Act 2.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about Chad. What's his name? The Lucky Carter.
The Lucky Carter. Luke Carver. Is it Carver?
It's Carver, Luke. The Lucky Carter, who's basically us.
It's just the audience stand-in.
Basically every YouTuber you've ever watched.
You're every man.
Yeah, we'll talk about him later. But when you get to the RPG version of the game,
Act 2 mic drop moment where the game changes genres.
That I was kind of lukewarm on.
From a gameplay perspective, it's probably the weakest.
I was like, oh man, this is a symptom of this being a Devolver game.
Oh yeah?
Devolver always has these, like, that was like too Devolver-y for me.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I played Carrion, and I've played other Devolver games, or I've seen other Devolver games, and they do the 8-bit
aesthetic,
retro color palette.
Yeah.
On occasion.
The game transforms from a first-person roguelike card game into a top-down, Pokemon-looking adventure overworld map travel the world card game.
Right. I was
challenging people to duel.
Yeah. Oh my God. The Yu-Gi-Oh.
At the end.
At the very end. My eyes went wide. No, but the Pokemon style switching. I couldn't separate from the back of my mind. This would have been. They might have been able to afford to do the 3D log cabin type thing for the entirety if they had a bigger budget.
I see.
But this is a small Devolver indie. So it's like, what's the necessity of invention? What's the
restraints cause innovation?
Yeah, limits.
Constraints
are the mother of invention.
Okay.
So that's...
I had a similar thought cross my mind as you're playing right at the very end, and you see what a more fully realized Magnificus chapter would have been like, and you have the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual blade.
Yeah.
And then you see what a more fleshed out Grimora section would have been like, because she has that like little chessboard component.
It does feel like the game's auteur built several game mode flavors
and had to make cuts
and just kind of Frankensteined it together. Wonderfully so.
Yeah, I think it works well.
But I was wishing for what could have been.
The one point of praise that I did like about the 8-bit overworld area is, since you are now suddenly dealing with, first of all, it's kind of like a mind-blowing moment. That whole first act 1 of the game in Leshy's cabin, I was only dealing with like a quarter of the cards. Now there's like the robot technology deck and the magician deck.
It gets verbose.
It gets verbose, and how the 4 different types of cards all deal in a different currency, and how they interact with each other. So like Leshy requires sacrifices. Sacrificing cards gives you bones, which Grimora's cards use the bones. There
are certain bots that will generate gems or power them up.
Yeah. There's like crossover ones. Yep.
Yeah.
Which starting deck did you choose?
Grimora's.
Oh, cool. You went undead. I went with PO3's, the technology deck.
Oh, okay.
Which, when when the third act arrives and PO3 takes control.
Oh, and he's like, you wanted to sacrifice me or like supplant me?
Yeah, at first I was like, oh, wow, cool. This whole third act is because I chose PO3.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it's not. It's always PO3.
Right, yeah.
So that was initially more impressive than it actually is.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Yeah, PO3's currency mechanic is just, it's Hearthstone. You get like extra energy every turn.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wait, surely you played all of Act 3, right?
Yeah, I did. I didn't know that was Hearthstonian.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. In Hearthstone, you get 1 extra currency every turn.
Oh, okay.
And then the Magician's currency is straight out of Magic the Gathering, how you like play the land card. I didn't mess with the Magician's cards at all.
I agree, yeah.
They seemed maybe the most complex.
Yeah. Only when they make you use it.
They didn't seem to have overt synergies with the other ones, at least that I could find.
I don't know. When you charge up your empty vessels in PO3's world to have those gems,
that's true.
Then it's like
then it's pretty worthwhile.
I really want the HP buff.
How did you like all the full motion video stuff that bookended each chapter?
Oh, the Carter, the AR.
Did you like
ARG
his story with finding?
It added a fun amount of spook to it.
It did.
I liked. Yeah, I thought it was believable. I could totally see this young content creators' zeal for like people smashing that like button to go out and make it public, and for the Game Funa company to try to quash that before it reaches his 1,000 followers.
Before he hits the old data.
Yeah, super. Oh man, dude, I was kicking myself when the data starts getting deleted, and you're like, ooh, what what would this Grimora boss battle have been?
Exactly.
You remember that part where the pirate ship boss appears?
Yeah, it opens up with a huge triumphant
The
firing
music,
of cannons.
and like
And
the
then,
accordion, pirate theme starts going.
And she gets a hat, and then all those assets are immediately deleted.
Oh well. I'll shake your hand.
That's a great moment. You know, shaking everyone's hand for the last time, that got to me.
It's heartfelt.
It's heartfelt.
Yeah.
I was surprised how much I cared. Even Leshy, for the whole first third of the game, you killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely gonna shake your hand, dude.
Yay! What were you about to say?
When the scale gets deleted,
and he's like, "Well, we could just play anyway.
We don't have to keep score."
It's so
sad.
meaningful. Yeah.
It's like he just earnestly really wants to play the game.
It's all he has is the game.
Did you
and then the Michael Bay spinning around the magic duel at the very end.
Right.
And you see the hand. That was like, I'm so deep. I can forgive any wonky 3D modeling.
Right. You need a 360 panoramic of this battlefield.
And then your dual deck starts vaporizing into existence.
Yeah. And Magnificus, he waits too long. Doesn't get to shake your hand.
I didn't really think of that as he waited too long, I guess. Okay.
He was too focused on winning, I think.
Yeah, he thought he could save it. But I totally wanted to see every card 3D modeled. I wanted to see all the undead's boss battles. I want like a Delta Rune of this game where you just keep on going with the formula. And more spooks. It had me. I was thoroughly creeped out. I watched every video clip in the CamWorks the playback menu.
Yeah, you don't skip those.
I watched every static thumbnail looking for clues. And then there's the one. Did you get that?
The one.
The one because there's like 5 or so video playback diaries of Luke interstitched with there's a few of them that are just static.
Yes.
You watch the pure static ones.
Yeah.
And in one of them, you got a special code written on a napkin.
I did pick up on that, although I didn't do anything with it.
I didn't do anything with it either. I photographed it.
It's part of an actual ARG that's going on.
Ooh.
That I think has ended.
Okay.
It involved people going to the actual coordinates on the card and getting an actual floppy disk.
Whoa!
It's in
Canada?
Yeah, it was in Vancouver.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's
pretty cool.
That's nuts.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, when he was just there laughing. Ooh, scary.
And then him hammering the floppy disk.
Yeah,
towards the very end.
I was like, ooh, this is taking
So while I would agree, I think the core gameplay of Act 1 was my favorite. What gave Act 3 a run for its money, I loved every boss battle.
Yes.
All 4 boss battles are dynamite. What was your favorite?
That was when I started photographing the screen. Was the archivist.
I want to show you a video I took of my archivist fight.
Who doesn't document it in some way and is like, what the fuck?
The archivist fight is probably one of my favorite boss battles, full stop.
That's when I said this is my favorite Undertale game.
Got it.
Because the bosses in Undertale are like, I'll save over your data.
Yes. So the archivist fight brings up an actual...
Well, okay, so PO3.
Yeah.
The stoat turned bot denizen of the tech world. He wants to achieve the great transcendence.
Yes.
Which you come to find is just putting the game on Steam.
Yeah.
And the way he's going about it is forcing you to do these boss battles where you basically upload it to the Greenlight Workshop, whatever.
Steam Greenlight.
Yeah. He makes you do thumbnails.
Do the marketing material. You need to snap photos of the game during the photographer fight.
And then the archivist.
The archivist, yeah, you're fighting. He's like cares about records. His minions are librarians, and every time
It's the first jaw-dropping moment is, I need access to
your hard drive. And did you ever click no? I don't.
tried to.
What did it do?
And the cursor changes the box to yes.
That's great.
You can't not. Yeah, it's just like unbelievable that the game didn't start with some sort of like forward that's like all of the events of this game are fictional and some sort of like Assassin's Creed.
That would lessen
if they
the
kept
impact.
it super vague, so you'd never have recalled it. But it's wild that the game does that.
Yeah, every time you defeat one of the archivist's little minion cards, it prompts you to grab an actual file from your hard drive, pick one, and the larger the file size, the heavier the weight you put on the scale to your advantage.
More damage you do to the boss.
Right. My first attempt at the archivist, I misread that. I thought the bigger the file, the worse for you.
Oh.
It gets added on your scale.
Oh.
So initially that fight was really hard for me because I was picking like minuscule files. But then once I figured out what you were actually doing, I was picking those 13 gig files, slamming them down.
Oh, yeah. I was like, where do I put all my videos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was fun. But then Act 2 of that fight, or the second phase, is what really gets me.
It develops it, yeah. You pick an old file.
It says like pick a file that means a lot to you. And then the way it measures that is how old the file is. Presumably, if you've kept the file around for a long time, it's kind of important. And then after
What
you pick it,
what did you pick? What did you pick first?
I chose a profile picture of myself that I use a lot.
Oh my god!
And it loaded it into the game.
Oh my god!
If you pick images, they get loaded on this on your opponent's screen.
I didn't know that.
Which is an Easter egg. So I was facing myself in the game because I chose a profile pic.
I chose just like I think it was called Hyber.sys.
Okay.
And then the big twist.
The big twist is if your card dies in the game, the file gets deleted off your hard drive.
Permanently. And so I was like, oh no, I think I chose a very core
like this is integral to my operating system.
Like a terminal file, yeah. Like my computer wouldn't. I might have to factory reset it if this file gets deleted.
And you're incentivized to pick the older the file you pick, the better,
the stronger it is.
The stats are of the card that gets created in the game.
You're gonna want to use it.
So you're really incentivized to pick an old important file, but then the tension is there.
The boss said, yeah, the boss's green text font changes to red when it says, I will delete it from your disk. Please do not tempt me. I am completely serious.
So did you protect your card?
Yes. Yeah.
I did not.
What happens?
So I knew rest assured, like this is my Facebook profile pic. I could re-download it. It is an empty threat. The file does not get deleted. No Steam app would give you write privileges to other parts of your hard drive.
Right.
There is an achievement, though, if you go in and delete it yourself, which
wow.
Then the boss will acknowledge it and be like, wow, you actually followed through. Were you expecting a reward? And then you don't get a reward. But at least he realized you did delete it.
That's super... I love video games.
Yeah, right? So this isn't the very first game I've played that messes with your hard drive. Like Doki Doki Literature Club does this.
Oh, really? Okay.
Does Undertale do it? Probably, right?
No, but it's the closest analog I had.
But I think this is the coolest version of that gimmick I've ever seen. Which I think means this game can't get ported to consoles ever, right? Otherwise, this boss would be neutered. Wouldn't be nearly as cool.
No, but the golly
okay,
would be even better.
Probably.
You appeared in my golly.
You were not.
So
in
did
mine.
Bailey and Bailey's mother.
Okay. So yeah, this other Act 3 boss fight.
Yeah.
Its whole gimmick is connecting to the internet.
Super similar.
It turns all of your Steam friends on your friend list into cards that you fight. Janice was OP.
Yeah, he was.
What was he for you?
He was. I mean, he was strong.
Janice was a 5/4 coming in at me.
Yeah, Janice could have killed me.
Yeah. I put Alexis's brother in the grave, though. Wasted him. So that's fun.
Oh my god!
But that's not the only cool part about that fight.
Oh yeah.
Because you get to make a custom design a card that you send to other players.
Very near.
That you also receive. Very near. That you receive. Did you get like a cool one or a stinker?
I got a stinker.
Mine won me the game. The one I received that another player made.
I got Mr. Fat Butt or something.
Mine was it was flying, so it hits directly, 4 attack, and hits 2. It has a split.
Bifurcating, yeah.
So it just automatically does 8 damage. So it single-handedly won the second phase of that.
Gifted you a god.
Yeah. So that was pretty sweet.
What's the other? There's photographer, golly, archivist.
Photographer was the weakest link to me, anyway.
Yeah, but thematically and narratively, it's
cool.
Cool.
And I did like the third one. I don't remember its name, but that's the one where you choose the rules of the match.
Yeah.
What was your custom rule?
Every time a character dies, something different happens.
Okay. Yeah, you have to you can choose a time frame, so it's either like every turn, every card play, or every death, and then you choose an effect.
Yeah.
So mine was every turn, everything on the board is going to take 1 damage, and that worked a little bit to my advantage, I think, because it hit us both equally.
If you do pick a rule that's just not playing into the boss's favor, he just cancels it out.
Really?
Yeah, you get a big red X in that portrait that swirls around him.
I didn't think of a rule that was only to my favor. What did you think of?
It was when a character dies, and then the bottom condition was red.
Okay.
And it just he canceled it out. I for whatever reason I was hard countering it.
So yeah, those 4 fights were highlights, totally.
Yeah.
The archivist was my favorite part of the game.
Yeah. I mean, I have like 6 photos of the archivist fight on my phone.
It's so cool.
It's so I showed my brother immediately.
Did he appreciate it?
He was like, pick a big file. Yeah. Yeah. So fun. Oh my god. Yeah. So aside from that, the girl shooting you in your doorway
at the very end.
I thought that was a good way to end that. And then the credit music is the magician Magnificus's boss music.
And the game, when the credits are done, the game hard quits. You don't even exit.
That's true. Also very Undertale.
Very Undertale.
Because it's gone. Yeah.
As far as the escape room bits, I freaked out the first time I used the special dagger.
Oh my gosh.
Great item. It wins you the fight almost. But you carve out your eye and put that on the scale.
Too gross. Don't think about it.
And then your vision is blurred until Leshy offers you a new eye.
Yeah.
That was pretty fucking cool.
No, fun moments when you first attack the bait bucket in the fish fight.
Yes.
And it spawns sharks.
Yeah. So it spawns sharks. Did you ever, during Act 1 fighting Leshy, did you ever get too far in a run too quickly? In which case they cheat.
And what? Start playing really heavy.
I
mean, there's one in the tutorial, in your first run through, where he kind of teaches you about the candlesticks. there is that one fight with like 4 grizzlies.
Yeah. Okay. We're talking about the same thing. If you make it too far, too fast, like, and if on my virgin playthrough, I was making it past the angler, or I was about to.
Yeah.
But then they flood the board with grizzly bears, and you can't win.
Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because after I beat the game, I started watching like card tier list, this and that, mods, and one of the videos was like, "Can you beat it on your first time through?" Yes.
Oh.
And I didn't bother watching that and scrubbing to the Grizzlies part, but yeah, I definitely I tried to dive back in because there are things in the escape room that I didn't interact with. I know that there's PO3's hammer and Magnificus's brush on the immediately
wall.
To your left.
I saw them, but at the time you don't know what they are.
That's what they are.
Yeah.
And then I guess the significance of all the little wooden guys are victims.
Oh, okay.
Are they, right?
Probably.
I didn't get any other certificates out of that. Did you notice on the globe that you can spin in Leshy's cabin? It's the RPG overworld.
I did not notice that.
Because that's
like pretty
the
cool.
skeleton hand world.
That's sweet.
Apparently there's like the Mushroom Twins boss battle if you max out them in the RPG Act 2.
Yes, you encounter them in Act 3. I actually did max them out, found them. They're optional content.
I didn't find them.
They were like really hard, so I thought to myself, I'll come back to this when I have a better deck, and then I just forgot about them.
Yeah, okay.
So I never beat them.
Mm-hmm.
I think your reward is you get like a stupid card. It's like one cost
it's
11
the Frankenstein
attack.
one, right?
Probably.
I loved that. I loved the
mashing people together.
Do you get rid of 2 great cards for an excellent one? Because then it's like the deck drawing logic. Did you ever? I guess it's best to Frankenstein like 2 Gex.
Sure.
Did you ever use Gex for your rare card picks, or did you just go like Uriuli? You know the high tier cards.
Yeah, I was big on Child 13.
Oh, I never used Child 13.
It's like it has the cat ability, but every time you hit it and sacrifice it,
it gets
stronger, and then when you hit it again, it gets weaker, and when you hit it again, it gets stronger.
Oh,
so it like flips back and forth between.
Much like the swap bot.
Yeah. It kind of uses the mechanic where creatures that are like a beast will keep switching back and forth.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't really. That one was kind of hit
weird.
Or miss.
Yeah. Did you encounter the card of the sensory deprived magician?
Yeah.
Wasn't he so annoying to use? Like his effect was he was lonely. So whenever you play a card with him on the field, he tries to get closer to it.
Clingy.
Clingy. That tripped me up so many times.
Yeah, because it's every card you play. It's like the Bloodhound that always auto moves.
And he doesn't just like shift. He will hop over cards to get closer.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, did you meet the fish guy in PO3's world?
Yes.
He
gives you a good fish or a bad fish when he dies.
Did you get the pelts in PO3's world?
I did. That give you extra lore.
Right.
Which were pretty inscrutable. I didn't really understand the lore that much.
Yeah, it had to do with that Casey girl.
Yeah, the developer who died.
Yeah, that Game Foon is trying to cover up.
Right.
Yeah, cool.
It's all in the old data.
Yeah, which is just, it's all redacted, like police bulletin stuff.
Yeah, like licenses, driver's licenses stuff.
Yeah.
Did you meet the Bone Lord?
Meet him? No.
Oh.
I did his, basic sacrifice stuff.
Did you give him the offering in like the crypt in World 2?
Oh. What was the offering? What was the offering supposed to be?
There are 2 cards.
I saw him.
Yeah, you saw him. He has the red eyes in the coffin.
Yeah, he's like, "What do you got?" And
right.
I didn't get anything until much later.
There's 2 cards called a broken obol or something. One's on the left and one's on the right. And if you play them so that they like form a hole in a battle, you get a new card that's like a complete obol that you can give to him. and he'll show you a secret area.
Cool.
And he gives you some cards, and he also says, I know some stuff about the old data, let me tell you.
Wow.
But then it cuts to black, so you don't actually hear it, but then you see Luke reacts to what he hears, and he's just like, what the fuck?
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was cool.
And then you see his skull in the cabin.
Yes.
And he can smack it a couple times, so it doesn't do anything.
Doesn't do anything.
I put a plant under it.
Oh, I heard people did plant stuff, but I never did anything related to a plant.
I don't remember. Yeah, I didn't get very far. Did you fill the smoke?
Fill the smoke?
In the cabin? You can extinguish the candles.
Oh, no.
And the smoke lingers up and occupies a bulb.
I definitely did not do that.
Okay, there's like a couple things. I mean, it's a fun. I love the base game. I got spoiled on the moon.
Oh, you did?
Because I read the rule book. It's in the rule book.
It's in the rule book?
Well, the sigil that it uses is like gravity shift or whatever.
Okay. Which
So
the moon is
I
the
put two and
only
eight.
card with that ability, right?
Yes. Yeah, I knew it was like a planetary something final boss ability. That's very fun. Yeah, the camera obscura is like the camera that he uses.
Okay.
Which is just like not a folklore, but like a mythos kind of thing.
Sure.
Like when people were scared of photography because I thought it was gonna like suck their souls out.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
That's the thing. Yeah, dude, when you pop in the film and you put the camera to your eyes, and Leshy freaks out.
You ingrate.
I'm like, ah! The best moment. Well, I mean, short of the archivist, but that's like, oh my god! And then you unlock New Game Plus, and you're like, did I win?
You know from second one of this game that something's up because you can't start a new game.
Yeah.
You have to continue someone else's previous save file.
Yeah. Oh.
And then by beating Leshy, you unlock, like, the thing you have is the new game.
Which is the true game.
Yes. Act 2 is like the virgin game.
Yeah.
Act 1, you were in someone's messed up file where Leshy took control.
Right.
Yeah.
I want director's cut Inscryption. Just throw more money at it.
Yeah. It was so good.
It's already like verbose enough. I don't know.
I thought it was paced great. I felt like new mechanics were being introduced at just the right clip.
Yep.
The genre changed just the right number of times.
Did you use the hook power item
on the angler?
Yeah, once you beat the angler, and you get it.
I did.
Did you ever? Yeah.
I did organically, not realizing there was an achievement tied to that.
Yeah. The boss that I played the least, obviously, is the trader/butcher.
Okay, yeah. Trader/trapper.
Yeah, that has to do with how many pelts are in your deck, right?
Yeah, the more pelts you have, the more trades you can make. Yeah.
Okay. Because I sold all my pelts like right before it.
Right, yeah.
But I think my deck is just so good at that point because I mushroomed 2 Urulis together into a 14/14. It's just a freak beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Plus, okay, last couple things.
Yeah. But did you not use the Gek very much at all?
Who is the Gek?
So, okay, let's talk about the rare cards, right? There's the Amalgam.
Yeah.
That's like takes advantage of all the totems.
All totems, yeah.
Yo, totems are hit or miss.
I didn't utilize them that well.
They can be fabulous.
I wish you could have more than one active at a time.
That would be too much.
Too much? Okay.
You can have infinite sacrifice squirrels.
Ooh, okay, that sounds insane.
You can have, I think you can have like, and then in PO3's world, obviously.
My best one was my squirrels counted as 3 blood during a sacrifice.
That's good too, yeah.
How much fun was it in PO3's world where you got to like make your own card and then keep it?
I was trying to solve what the printer on the left was doing with that.
Oh, you were trying to solve that.
Yeah, so I was like, it didn't do anything initially. Because that takes you to the Goo Guys world. Did you go there?
I did visit the Goo Guys world.
Okay.
But I didn't find the symbol from the printer. I just found the other two, and then with process of elimination.
Oh, I did. I figured out the symbol for the printer, and I was like, what does it want me to add that symbol to that card? It didn't click for me.
Got it.
And then I had to figure out the cuckoo clock.
And then the flashlight.
Yeah.
Camera thing.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, making your own card. What did you name your card?
Oh,
Big Nuts 2000 or something.
one was Dat Loot Boy, because he was a guy who was he was really cheap. He was going to die, and then he would give me a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, kind of sacrificial lamb kind of thing.
Yeah.
In World 2. That bot that's like dredging up things from the ocean.
Okay, the one who repaired the bridge?
No.
Dredging up things from the ocean.
You jump down and you talk to him, and he gets to be a card, actually.
Okay.
And he's kind of like, that's kind of weird. Leshy made his guys bosses. How come I'm just an NPC? What is it, PO3? Yeah. You talk to him in PO3's Cartesian walk around. But in World 2, he's doing it because you know how the bots, there's the inspector whose job is to inspect things, and then the smelter whose job is to smelt things.
Yeah.
There's a guy there's a robot in the watery area that's like schlepping raw materials up to the smelter guy. And he's like, oh my God, I found it. The boss is going to be so pleased with me.
Okay.
And it's this weird artifacting glitch thing.
I remember this now.
Which must be the old data.
Oh, okay.
Right?
That would make sense.
Because it's freaking out, and you see PNGs of other characters.
And the old PO3 found something in the old data that let him take control in Act 3, I think.
It must be, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
you're sundowning. Let's wrap it up.
All right.
What a cool game. I wanna play some more. Did you ever use the Ouroboros?
I did.
People say that's S tier.
It is S tier.
I never used it.
In Act 2, there's a training dummy in Magnificus's world that you can just grind battles on. So I ground him up so that his stat, every time he dies, his stats buff.
Oh!
Permanently.
Oh!
So
up to 5.
Mine was a 79-79. And then, so he trivializes the game, but then you lose him for Act 3 unless you solve the cuckoo clock.
The Orobot, yeah.
You get him out of the cuckoo clock.
I had no idea it was permanently accrued.
Yeah.
Every time he dies?
Every time he dies.
That's horribly broken. Okay. No, I did not use that. Did you ever take advantage of Leshy's boons? Yeah.
What would those be?
It's like the boon of like the mammals, the boon of the.
Oh, this was only used during the moon fight, right?
Yeah, he brings his hand comes down. It's a small desk, and then it's like you can do like the ambidextrous. You can do.
Yeah, I chose that.
Those are pretty powerful.
Those are they're never used in anything other than the moon fight, right?
Right.
Okay, then I'm with you. Yeah. I like the one where you could choose what card you drew every draw.
Right.
Out of your deck. And
yeah, the magpie boon, yeah.
And then I also started with...
Did you only do the Leshy fight once?
Yes.
Okay. I did it twice only because I choked at the very last. I was like, is there anything that's going to stop me from dealing this much damage? And then I had the Bloodhound just moved into the right spot. And I did no damage to him.
It moved to block.
I died at the very last. Wait, no, it's not the very last. That would have that would have been his final candle that triggered the moon.
The moon. Okay.
And the moon is easy.
Yeah, the moon wasn't an issue.
Yeah. Okay, we're done.
We're done.
All right.
What a game. Go play it, please. It's great. It's like one of my favorite games.
Easy top 10 for this year.
Oh yeah. It's just now it's a question of, is it number 2 or number 3?
Are you glad I was tepid on it?
Didn't really impact me.
Okay. All right.
You didn't scare me away, nor did you inflate my expectations too high.
Okay.
So
all right. That's good then.
Didn't really impact.
For a game that a game you could easily be like, this is the best game ever. It was good.
All right.
I'm getting the signal to end the episode. So we will.
All right. We crushed 3 hours. Sweet.
Well, that'll be like 2.5.
All right. Until next time, Heath, I'll catch you later.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. See you next time.
Bye.
Will next time be the Game Awards?
Yeah. We'll know them. We'll know the results.
Are we gonna record before the Game Awards?
We'll see how fast you edit this.
Okay. All right.
All right. Bye.